Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Halloween edition of the Captain Logan Show. 'Tis I, the Riddler, and joining me tonight is my wonderful chat moderator and producer, the Riddler. So one of these things is not like the others. He is really scary, and I'm really not.
Oh, you're scary good at your job, sir.
Oh, thanks, man. Ooh, it's so spooky. I can't put this on without going to the Jim Carrey, like, high-pitched every other thing I say kind of thing, and then constant Gorshin laughing.
Well, I've only seen this movie once, so I don't actually remember what this Riddler talks like. So I'm just going with the breathing thing.
I think it's completely informed by the mask.
Probably.
I think you'll sound like him just by virtue of that being on your face.
Well, that makes my job easier.
DJ, your costume is amazing, and I thought maybe, like, it looks so good. I thought maybe you just went out and got that, but everybody, apparently that is homemade, home put together. He pieced it out. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just like my hero, the Riddler. I just bought a real military jacket and a real military cold weather mask, and I put it on. It was pretty easy, actually. The Riddler's costume, very easy. So you still got time before Halloween to make it work.
This is just a recommends for a Riddler costume.
Just a recommend. Also have to get way up here like he does in those videos.
Please do not lie. Remember the other day when I made the mistake of comparing like obsessive Snyder fans to the Riddler followers from that movie? I didn't realize you were one of those. When you're like, my hero, the Riddler, I'm like, that might be the most horrifying thing you've ever said.
And we just watched the Zodiac on this channel. It's all coming together.
That's true. Yeah. Nothing about this is PC kosher. Okay. It looks fantastic though. We might piss off a viewer or two, but
no, it's all in fun. It's all in fun. I guess that might make them even more mad. It's all for the spookiness, guys. We're still doing what we're doing. We're still answering questions.
We sure are, and tonight, possibly more than we even have been lately, tonight is going to be a bona fide Ask Me Anything show. We're not going to have any lead-in topic whatsoever. Instead, we're going to do kind of a trick-or-treat show, and what I mean by that is I'm going to ask you to ask me questions like normal, anything you want to under the sun, within reason. We mostly appreciate geeky stuff here, but you can ask us pretty much anything. And the trick of it, though, so the treat questions are just a regular, fun Captain Logan Show question, something that you think I might be able to sink my teeth into, or that a DJ and I can have a fun discussion about. The trick questions, I'm going to ask for trivia questions about superhero movies. We're going to see if folks can stump me at all this evening, and you feel free to pick between those. So if nobody wants to do that, you don't have to, but the trick kinds of questions this evening are, hey, let's see if I can stump Captain Logan. And your prize is you stumped me and made me look humiliated. That's the prize.
The best prize. Humiliation.
You can do that with, it's really weird not to be able to see a person's facial expression like on the other end, but with that mask, you sort of look like you're either constantly smiling or constantly grimacing.
It's both. That's my secret. I'm always grimacing.
If we didn't want to, like if I wasn't worried about revealing our costumes tonight, DJ, it would have been great to use that face in the thumbnail. Just a mask you cannot begin to emote with.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Well, we gave a little hint, but I don't even know if anyone... I think because it's masked as just questions, like people thought we were just doing a questions thing. But
I didn't think I'd give it away too much by doing that. And maybe even with the Riddler posters at the beginning, I don't know that anybody would call it, because I use question marks a lot for various shows. And we've done, the game show with question marks. And I want to segue now and give you a quick announcement about that. Part of the reason I wanted to do the trivia question thing tonight for anybody that is up for doing that is because next month, and I don't have an exact date yet, probably middle to end of the month, we're going to bring back finally Are You Geekier Than the Day Ghost? and we're going to do another game show. It's been 9-10 months since we did that. I meant to do it more periodically than that, and just time's gotten away from us, and we haven't gotten around to another one. So if you are interested in being a contestant for that, we're going to bring on 2 contestants along with the Day Ghost, and you're going to go up against him and see if you can beat him for extra prize money. The winner of that will get a prize, and if you can beat the Day Ghost, you get even some money on top of it. And like I said, we're going to do that sometime next month. If you would like to enter that, I'm going to ask for a video no longer than 2 minutes from you, and you can send me a link to that. Make it unlisted on a YouTube channel, or you can even put it up as in a Google Doc, however you want to do it, and send it to my email, which is, I don't think in the description of this video right now, but you can find that in the About page for Geekvolution. And all I need you to tell me is your name, where you're from, and 3 geeky tidbits about yourself. What kinds of geeky things are you into? What do you know about? And just give me a sense of your personality and also your webcam setup, and try to shoot that, by the way, with whatever setup you might be using if you were to come on live, because that is important information for me to have, just to make sure that you've got the bare necessities for that: camera, microphone. And that's all you need for that. So I'll continue announcing this periodically, and I wanted to go ahead and bring that up now to give everybody a chance to get those videos in. And I'll give you a cutoff date when I have a sense of when that show is actually going to be. But you'll have at least a couple of weeks, if not 3. And if you've already put in a video from the last one from last year, I'm going to ask you to do it again, just because so much time has passed now. And so that I can get a sense of, like I said, your setup and everything. And then the other big announcement I'm going to do will be at the end of the show. But I'm going to tell you about something exciting that I'm about to start working on. And it's a project, and that's all I'm saying right now. But I'll tell you what that is at the end of the show. Finally, I want to mention that we're doing a t-shirt sale right now for the Geekvolution T Public store. And t-shirts are on sale right now for $14 again. So jump over there and get yourself a Geekvolution Planet G shirt, or a Superhero Rewind Unscripted shirt, a Request shirt, any of those cool designs by our terrifying militant Riddler, who is apparently
very excited.
Also really good at graphic design.
Oh yes, well, we need a side job. We can't be killing people all the time. But I'm very excited because Are You Geekier Than the Day Ghost is the Riddler's favorite game show.
Oh, of course it is.
Very, very excited. I can't wait to try out.
You're not eligible.
Video.
You're not eligible because you work here.
I'm smart. I can't even do the voice. I don't even know what voice to do.
He's like, oh, you want to know what I would look like on camera? It would be like this. This is what I'd look like.
Exactly.
We're going to go ahead and start taking questions right now. If you want to make sure that your question or topic is talked about on the show, you can leave a super chat in any dollar amount, and we will guarantee that we'll talk about it. If not, you can leave a regular comment with a question, and make sure to tag DJ Martinez at DJ Martinez, at The Welder, or at Terrorist Riddler. You can, he'll answer to any of those things, and more, even Question Mark Man, or Captain Kill. He'll answer to any of those things.
Yeah, people were saying it's the Riddler verse earlier. People were saying I'll claim the DCAU Riddler if it's not taken. So,
oh, sure, yeah.
There's more Riddlers, guys. There's more Riddlers.
There's more Riddlers than you can shake a stick at, and there's cool, there's lots
or
of
break
cool
a
Riddlers,
cane at.
and there's lots of terrible looking Riddlers, like
You
the.
could have done the Batman Riddler from the cartoon with your long hair.
Oh man, yeah, that's true. I could have. I was trying to think of a cool way to incorporate the long hair, and I thought about even doing like some dye or something, and time got away from me, and I couldn't get to it today, but.
Yes.
What you don't want to look like is the Riddler from the new Batman Adventures with the bald head. That's terrible. He looks awful. Arkham Riddler's really good too. Jason was like, Jason asked me what we were doing tonight, and I told him that we were both doing Riddlers, and he goes, I don't know why he said this. He just blurts out, you know what my favorite thing is about the Riddler? I said, what? He goes, Riddler trophies.
Oh, no.
It's like, it's not mine. That's my nightmare. That's why I can't 100% a single Arkham game. I can't get all the Riddler trophies. I'm terrible at puzzles.
Yeah, watching the Zodiac was very traumatic for Cap because he was just upset that he's not as good as puzzles as those people.
Yeah, well, I tend to tune out to things like that. I'm like, I'm not even going to try. I suck too much. I mean... All right, well, is everybody ready to jump into the pool here? DJ, what is the first question that you see, sir?
All right, the first question is actually from Tuesday's show. I apologize, I missed this. It wasn't a super chat, but he did put it in the chat at the beginning, so I did want to give him credit for it.
Okay, sure.
He says, Jareth Gerhardt, hey Cap, have you seen the Quantum Leap soft reboot show? It's like if the CW made the show. I wanted to thank you for all the great content. I've had a bad few years, and it helps me.
Oh, man, I appreciate you saying that. And he's been in the comments a lot lately. I appreciate you too, man. Yeah, I have not, and I don't really have any intention on seeing that. The previews made it look like if CW made that show, and it was hard to get... I mean, too many of these... like kind of soft reboot decades later series for shows are coming out and not really being worth your time. And so like I didn't, and sometimes they're reboots, sometimes they're soft reboots. So like I didn't bother with the 4400 on the CW, which was a show that I absolutely loved from the mid 2000s. And I'm glad that I didn't because it got canceled very quickly and it looked terrible too. This kind of looks in line with that. It's Quantum Leap with an ensemble cast. That's kind of, immediately against the premise, and it seems like they're trying to really push forward with the mythology with that, and that could be cool, but I haven't heard any good things. And the big kind of deal breaker for me is that Scott Bakula was offered his role back and to come back to that show, and they wanted to build it around him, and he had no interest in doing it. And I don't know if that's because he saw any of the material they were working on and said no thanks or what, but like I don't know, a lot of the setup for that show is we've got to go finally try to figure out what happened to Sam Beckett. And Scott Bakula has come out and said Sam Beckett will never be in that show, so who cares? Like, I really thought, because from the beginning, they said, well, he's not going to be in the main cast, and I thought, well, there's not anything excluding the possibility that he shows up, like, at the end of the season as a cliffhanger, like they finally found Sam Beckett, what happens next? And I thought that's what was going to happen. And then, weirdly, just before the show premiered, we finally got a statement from Bakula that was a little cryptic. He seemed to be like overly careful and treading lightly and diplomatic, and didn't want to say why exactly he wasn't doing that show. But you read between the lines a little bit, and it just seemed like he was not happy with the direction they were taking the project. So he had kind of a best wishes sort of response that read a lot more like good riddance to me, and I was like, yeah, I don't care, and I don't think it'll pull any numbers, and I don't think it'll make it past a season. So yeah, I did not care about that. And I think that there's a way to do a cool modern Quantum Leap show, but it probably should be episodic again. I mean, maybe you could win me over on that, but I don't know. The whole point of Quantum Leap was every week we're in somebody else's body. Like, I don't know if I need serialized Quantum Leap, but...
Well, that's a little disappointing. I know you love that show.
I like Quantum Leap. I don't love Quantum Leap, but I've never watched that whole show. My buddy Adam did a whole rewatch of that series. He's a big fan of that before the new show started, and he was real lukewarm on it himself. So I've never seen the last episode of that.
Well, maybe this is just a good excuse to watch that instead.
Yeah, I've had that thought where I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll finally watch through that whole show. And the full season the full series is really cheap right now on disc.
All right, well, we got some super chats right out the gate. Shall I read them to you?
Let's do it, and I'll try my best to understand you.
Yeah, let me know seriously in the chat if it's annoying. I can totally take this off. It's not a huge deal.
No, so far it's been okay. I was worried about it at the start. I think I've adjusted to it.
All right, this is from Damian Wade. Reminds me, very similar to my arch nemesis son.
Your arch nemesis doesn't have a son. Your arch nemesis is like 23 years old.
All right, he says for $5.
Okay, he could have a son. I mean, he doesn't, but like, okay, 23 doesn't mean he can't have a son. Like, he's probably not gonna have a son old enough to be Robin.
I know you don't really care about Doctor Who, but what are your thoughts on Disney owning streaming rights to the series for the foreseeable future?
Well, it's nice. He was just waiting for. He was holding that duct tape the whole time, I bet. Oh my god. That's amazing.
I love this day. This day is great.
This whole show was worth that. Wow, that's great. I don't have any surprises like that up my sleeve. That's great.
Just wait till you whip out your second Riddler cane. That is amazing.
I don't know why I had this sitting right here. Anyway, this is a mess now.
Yes, I've ruined your Scotch tape. That was my goal all along.
Okay, so I want to clear something up real quick about the Doctor Who thing. It isn't that I don't care about Doctor Who, it's that the obsessive fandom of that several years ago, when it was still, kind of in its heyday, at least of the new stuff, and it was really popular and it was pretty good, was irritating to me, and I got tired of it very quickly. Like, I had friends that were, I'm not going to name names or anything, that were obsessed with that show that wouldn't stop talking about it, and I had watched a little bit, but had not caught up at that point, and they made me kind of not want to keep looking at it, because I was just tired of hearing about it. And then I finally watched through, I had already seen Eccleston, and then I watched through Tenet, and liked a lot of that, and then I saw some of Matt Smith and did not care for him, and never really went further. So I've seen the first episodes of both Capaldi and the female doctor. I can't remember that actress's name right now. And like both of them, fine, by the way. I heard horrible things about the most recent iteration past that pilot, but I like the pilot just fine. So it was kind of sad to hear that apparently goes downhill. I'm going to stop trying to fix this tape. So anyway, I wanted to clear that up real quick. As far as the streaming rights go, so like I haven't watched it regularly in a long time, and I haven't really caught up with it, and I haven't really cared for the showrunners past Moffat. But for me at least, it's nice that the streaming rights are on Disney, because it's easier to watch it. I wish. Like, I think Amazon Prime had it for a while, and before that it was on Netflix. So it's always, I guess, been somewhere where I could watch it. But I think maybe it left Prime for a while and there was no way to watch it. I can't remember. But anyway, so, like, I don't know that I have any, like, deep feelings about it being on Disney. More people will be able to see it that way, I guess, because Disney has a big user base. So I'm not sure what to take from the question. Like, maybe that viewer is irritated that Disney is continuing to own the rights to everything, which is kind of fair. But I don't know. It's nice that it's more viewable again. I just wish that they had that they would continue to put most of, if not all of, the old stuff that's available up as well, because Netflix used to have a lot of the pre-modern Doctor Who also, and that stuff's been really difficult to watch anywhere for several years, I think. That's not the Doctor Who question I thought he was going to ask, though. We got word a couple of days ago that, and I'm not enough of a Doctor Who person to make this a lead-in topic, but I heard the other day that apparently and I didn't look deep into this, but Austin messaged me about it, and I was like, really, they're doing that? So grain of salt, I don't have an article for this. I guess I could try to pull one up, but apparently they're bringing back David Tennant as the next Doctor. Like, they're not even going back and shooting just new episodes that fill in the raindrops from his Doctor. So, like, he's going to be 10 and 14, I guess, or whatever number they're on, which is bizarre, and that's a stunt I don't think will work. I don't think Doctor Who fans are going to go in for that. If they came back, and apparently he's only doing a few episodes or like a couple of movies or something, and then they're going to cast a new Doctor. It's very strange that, first of all, it's just too gimmicky, but like that the Doctor would regenerate into a former look that he's had before, and then regenerate into something brand new again. That's very, very strange. And it just seems like a desperate attempt. And I guess they're bringing, I don't know if it's Moffat or who, but they're bringing back an old showrunner also to do those episodes. And I think that's very desperate. But yeah, I'm going to look up an article and make sure I'm right about that, because I have not actually read about this. But I wanted to bring that up also. Yeah, Screen Rant. Why is David Tennant now playing the 14th Doctor, not the 10th? Yeah, that's very strange. Will star in 3 specials celebrating the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, set to release in November 2023. It's too bad they couldn't just come up with a cool way to contrive his coming back along with other Doctors again, like they did for the 50th, because that movie is wonderful, with John Hurt as the War Doctor. That's one of the best things that I've seen of the newer stuff. I haven't watched any of this stuff in a long time.
He's so young in that photo, wow.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe they'll find some way to make it make sense, and we'll all be shocked and awed. This seems odd or bizarre. I'm reading this article, given that Tennant is arguably most famous for portraying the 10th Doctor, and that 2 of his most prominent companions will return alongside him. So they're bringing back everybody, but he's playing a new iteration of the Doctor. That's preposterous. Tennant's 14th Doctor costume also strongly evokes the 10th. Of course it does, with the navy overcoat, suit, and signature Converse all present. The Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials must therefore explain this anomaly. Well, we'll see if they do. I would think that playing a new version, but it being that same actor, he would have to play it somewhat differently. But if he's doing, I mean, wardrobe has always been a big thing with Doctor Who. The clothes kind of make the man a little bit, or vice versa. And it's really weird if he's wearing the same kind of thing he was wearing before, but he's giving a different performance. So we'll see if it ultimately ends up making sense. I mean, I'm not going to come back just to watch that stuff, because I think that's really super gimmicky, but if people say it's really good, I might try it out eventually after dipping my toe back into some more of that show. But anyway, we'll get off Doctor Who, since I never talk about this, and I felt the need to combat the notion that I don't like Doctor Who.
You got him against the wall. Defensive Captain Logan.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Well, speaking of, this next super chat is a little personal, and I don't know if you want me to read it or not.
Oh no! Should I look at it before you read it?
I sent it to you in Messenger if you have that open.
Oh goodness, I don't. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, we got it's controversy night on the Captain Logan Show holiday special.
Only half of it.
Halloween special.
The other half I can go ahead and read, but yeah, half of it's pretty personal. I don't know if you want to talk about it or not.
Sorry, I'm suddenly distracted by an image on Facebook of a bunch of Power Rangers actors together. Sorry. Anyway,
let's talk about that. Riddler is also a big fan of the Power Rangers. Another one of his favorite shows.
I mean, it's a super chat. I always read them. People can see them in the video if they can see it in the video if they really want to. I'm not going to spend any time on this, but yeah, feel free to read it, and I'll give you a real quick, irritating clipped response, and then we'll continue.
Okay. So this is from Davis.
Good luck.
Basonfol. And $4.99, he says, do you resent the videos you made with people who became jerks, like Steve Baxi? Also, if there was a Tick reboot / revival, how would you want it to be?
So I'm not going to address the I don't know, vitriol or feelings that the commenter has about the people that he's talking about, but I'll just say no, I don't regret those videos, and I certainly enjoyed making them and enjoyed the co-hosts that I had from that period while we were doing it, and I don't have I don't have any resentment toward those folks or that time. There's some of that I certainly wish it turned out differently, and like I said, I don't feel the need to spend a lot of time talking about that whole thing. Like I said, I wish it had turned out differently. But no, I certainly don't. And there's some really good videos from that period that that if you enjoy those, folks, go back and listen to, because there's some really good discussions we had back then. But anyway, Tick reboot revival. Well, so I'm a little cynical about this at this point, because we've had 2 live action Tick shows now that ended prematurely, and it's hard not to say that if Edlin brought it back at this point, it should be planned in the first place as a mini-series and not an ongoing show. Just come back and do 5 or 6 episodes, have or a movie, do a real honest to God begin, middle, and end, or just a few episodes of something that are episodic, but conceptualize it as a short-lived thing in the first place, because the history of that character is it's gonna be short-lived. The longest show we've had, and it is weird, to be fair, that somehow something as indie and underground as the Tick started as has had 3 different TV shows, and they're all wonderful in different ways and for different reasons. But it's really weird that the longest of them was a Fox cartoon show, and the 2 live action shows could not begin to get close to that episode count. So that's kind of nuts. The last I heard with Ben Edlund was if he tried to shop around the Amazon show after it got canceled, couldn't get anybody to pick it up, and said he's still hopeful that at some point he can bring a show back with Peter Serafinowicz still as the Tick, but it would not be that show, it would be something else. And my response is, that's weird. Why not just continue that unless his thinking is we couldn't get anybody to pick up that show as it was, but maybe eventually somebody will be ready and willing as long as we totally start over. But then I don't know why you would want Serafinowicz. As much as I love Serafinowicz, it's just he has a very specific take. I'm always going to connect that and think of the show they made in relation to him. At the same time, they almost brought Patrick Warburton as the rebooted Tick for this very, very different iteration, and I guess the only reason he didn't do it was because he wasn't available. He was working on another project. He did co-produce that show. His name is on it. He was supposed to be in it. So I guess Edlund is still thinking that way with it. I really like this actor we got for the Tick. The Tick is hard to cast. It's difficult to get somebody big enough that has the right comedic sensibilities, that's the right age, that's physical. I mean, it's hard, but at this point, I really, like I said, I'm a little cynical about it. I have a hard time not saying, I know I'm in for a world of disappointment if it comes back, no matter how it comes back, because I thought the Amazon show was just perfect with that first season and one of the best TV shows ever made, in my opinion. And I kind of don't want to see it come back. I don't know that it can reach that again unless Edlund is allowed to really do what he wants with it, and is given a little bit more cash, and is given a certain number of season deal, which never happens, of course. So if a movie was announced, I might be excited about that. But if another series came out, I'd be like, it's gonna get canceled. It took 3 or 4 years to put out 2 seasons of that show. It took what, a year and a half or 2 years just to get the pilot and the entire first season out. It was ridiculous, and then it got canceled. I'm long-winded tonight. Let's roll. Let's keep going.
Well, you're in luck because they are making a movie, and they have the perfect casting choice, The Rock. I don't know if you know this, The Rock has been a big fan of the Tick ever since the comics when he was a kid. He always thought he looks just like him, and he's going to play the Tick, finally, in a big motion picture.
Wow.
So look forward to that.
Wow. Is he also promising that the Tick will definitely fight a live-action version of Invincible? Is he saying that? That'll happen.
Yeah, he's on that train. All right, another one from David.
Okay, I'm taking that news with a grain of salt, I think. Do you have the article to back it up?
The Riddler doesn't read articles. He makes them. He just announces things. Another one from David. Also, what's your experience with Teen Titan comics?
I have none. Like, I've read some of those characters in some other books, but I don't know if I have ever one time picked up a Teen Titans comic book. I read Tiny Titans, which was for kids, but was hilarious and a wonderful parody of that stuff. But yeah, and just DC Comics in general, I've never read a Teen Titans comic. I think I own 2 or 3 for some reason, but I don't think I've ever read one.
Well, you answered the question.
Yeah, which is unusual for me. Usually there's at least like the one run or arc of something that I've looked at, but I've never even read Judas Contract. Like I've never read any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not a team guy and I'm not a teen guy.
You're still young. You got time.
Generally speaking.
You got time to read it.
I'll put it on my bucket list. It's like, wow, Cap is 75 years old, finally reviewing his first Teen Titans comic. 25 people clicked on that video. What are we talking about? We're not looking at videos anymore. Captain Logan is standing in front of me on my holodeck telling me about a Teen Titans comic.
Exactly. Oh, Captain dropped his latest review. Let me beam it right into my brain.
Your brain is the cloud.
Yeah. Mutale, would you rather have Frank Castle or Al Simmons as your bodyguard?
Oh, that's pretty great. Pre or post being spawnified, I guess, really is the question. Since you said Frank Castle and not Punisher, I'm going to assume that you mean each of those guys before they become their like superhero counterparts or vigilante counterparts. So yeah, I'm going to say Al Simmons probably. What's weird about Al Simmons, and of course, we're constantly retconning his backstory in comics, so he seemed like a perfectly well-adjusted person that just happened to be really good at his job, which was assassinating people, which somehow gives you the credibility to, or I should say, the resume to become a hellspawn, regardless of what your motivations were for it. And then later on, McFarlane decided that he needed to be a worse person in life, so he said, oh, by the way, also he was a wife beater, and the reason why he didn't have children is because he beat her a lot, like while she was pregnant, crazy stuff like that. So yeah. If we're talking about the original Al Simmons as written, he seems like just a guy who's really good at his job, and I mean, I'm sure it takes a certain personality to like be. Maybe nobody's ever comfortable with that, but like, comfortable enough to actually be able to do that job. But he didn't seem to have even really a tragic backstory or anything. Like, he was just a good sniper. I don't know. But I'm sorry, DJ, what were you gonna say?
No, I just found that interesting that like assassin mercenary guy wasn't bad enough. He had to make him worse.
Yeah. Well, because the history of Spawn Comics is always changing the past and keeping the present stagnant. And the reason I would pick him over your traditional Frank Castle, and of course there's different iterations of Frank Castle, but the Punisher Max version and the one that I think most fans really latch onto and prefer and find most interesting is the one who secretly kind of wants something to happen so that he has to go back to a war kind of life, the sort of life that he had when he was in the military. And so, like, as tragic as it is, and as much as it breaks him that his family is killed, there's also a part of him that like maybe wanted or needed that to happen. That's the screwed up thing about the Punisher. And so I would rather the well-adjusted guy before it turns out that he has beat his wife to be my bodyguard, as opposed to the guy that secretly almost hopes that his family gets murdered.
All right, Tyler Thompson, $2.
Yeah.
Why don't you like The Thing, and who hurt you?
I've seen that movie one time, and I remember just being somewhat grossed out by it. and I like the source material a lot, and I just found it more interesting than the way the movie handled it. So he said The Thing, right? John Carpenter's The Thing. I know that's a beloved movie. Even my wife likes that movie, and she's not even a horror person. I had to watch that for a project in college, so it's been, I mean, probably 13, 15 years since I saw that movie. And we're gonna do it at some point for a commentary on a Friday, probably. Well, and actually, come to think of it, Austin made a paid request for that years ago that I still haven't gotten to. There's still a few that I'm working up toward that I haven't done yet, and he asked for that movie. So I'm actually gonna have to do a rewind on The Thing. So you'll get to hear at length why I either don't like that movie or have come around on it when I finally watch it again.
Yeah, I'm good friends with the welder, and he hasn't seen that movie yet at all. So you can hate him too.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that all of your alternate personas, DJ, end up with like a big thing over your face.
Yeah, I'm like Tom Hardy. I go for those voice altering mask roles.
Yeah, but you're not doing a weird voice on top of it. Or like, it's already hard to hear because you're talking like this, and then you're like, oh, but I'm going to talk like this.
Yeah. We love you, Tom Hardy. And your weird lobster choices. Last super chat so far, Mutale.
Lobster choices? Oh, yes. He did have a weird lobster choice. That's For a second, I was like, when did Bane have a lobster? Oh, that's true. That's the other bizarre voice. Oh, you lost your hood.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. See, I didn't go all the way and do a shower cap on my head like he does in the movie, mostly because I thought that was just silly. And I'm not worried about the police seeing what color hair I have. It's okay. You guys can see. I have
is that why he does that?
I assume it's to hide his identity a little more.
That makes sense.
And keep hair from falling out on the scene of the crime and giving him away. DNA. Mutale, craziest dream you guys have ever had, and favorite weapon. Wow, that is two different questions there. Unless they could be the same, they could be involved in your dream.
I was gonna say, yeah, you could be like, well, my favorite weapon is a chainsaw, and when I had this insane, crazy dream where there was this killer that was chasing me in my dream, I pulled out my giant chainsaw, but that has not happened for me. DJ, do you have? Did he say craziest dream or favorite dream? He said craziest dream, right?
Craziest dream.
I feel like we've been asked this before. I always want to try to come up with a really cool one. I dream a lot, and I don't know. I like a lot of people. I don't remember a lot of my dreams, but the ones I do are like super vivid. Does anything cool come to you right away, DJ?
I'm kind of the same, except
All
I don't
these personal
know
questions.
I don't know if I dream because I never remember my dreams. Sometimes I'll maybe remember them right when I first wake up, and then it just goes right out of my head. It's a bummer. But yeah, I used to have scary dreams when I was little. I remember one specific dream where I was running through this really crazy, like carnival amusement park, like animatronics everywhere. And Willy Wonka was chasing me and trying to kill me. I think that was shortly after the horrifying Johnny Depp performance that gave us all nightmares.
Okay, so it's nuts that you brought that up, because I was going through my database in my brain while you were talking about your dream, and I kid you not, the one I thought of that I decided to share with you guys is Johnny Depp related.
He's a frightening man.
Like a week after the Amber Heard trial was over, I had a dream where Johnny Depp and his entourage came to my house like really late at night, and he just needed a place to stay.
Johnny Depp is crashing on your couch?
Yeah, but with his bodyguards and everything. He had like all these people with him, and then at some point in the dream,
his bodyguards Al Simmons and Frank Castle.
And Frank Castle. At some point, his bodyguards, like his entourage, just disappears, and he's just lying on my couch like he's in therapy, and I'm giving him advice all night about like how to improve his life. It was really weird. We just like I had this dream where I stayed up all night with Johnny Depp, and then in the morning, I go to sleep and I wake up and in the morning Johnny Depp is gone and I never see him again. Is that weird?
You sat him down and you were like, I've been to court once. I told them all about my geeky YouTube channel, and they didn't want me to, be on the jury because of it, but I was there. Basically, I've gone through the same exact thing you've gone through, Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I could have been one of the jurors that voted to exonerate you, but they didn't want any geeks with geeky YouTube channels there, so I didn't get on your jury.
They didn't consider me to have a real job. I was discriminated against.
I've also had dreams where I've been close friends with both James Rolfe and Mike from Red Letter Media.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've had dreams like that. Recently, actually, you just reminded me of one. I had a dream that Wes Anderson came over to my house, and we were going to watch a movie in the theater. But Connor sabotaged me and messed up my settings, and the theater wasn't working.
Oh, no. That's hilarious.
That bastard Connor that ruined my one chance to have a night with Wes Anderson. I haven't even told him this. Hopefully he watches this episode.
Yeah, I hope he does. That's really funny. I have a lot of recurring dreams also, and I've talked about this before, but the one that comes up most often that I still have, DJ, and that's vivid enough where I always think it's real when I'm dreaming it, and I always have the thought, this has to be a dream because I know I've been through this before in dreams, but no, it's too real. I know it's real. And then I wake up and I'm like, dang it, every time. And it's that I'm in a college with like a very specific layout that's not a real college, but every time I dream it, the building's the same. Like, I remember how to get to certain places in this college, and there's always a comic shop built in it that's run by the guy who ran Astro Kitty Comics in Lawrence, Kansas, who's in my documentary. He's always in those dreams. And he doesn't even have that store anymore, but he's always in those dreams. And it's always that there's a math test or that there's a math class that I'm supposed to be attending that I haven't bothered going to all semester. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to actually bother to go to class and try to make it all up, or if I'm just going to, like, take the F and make it a mulligan. And I have that dream, like, 10 times a year.
Yeah, that's probably a stress-related dream. I think my wife gets, like, the same few dreams that keep cycling through whenever she gets stressed. I'm with you though, man. I wanted to look into lucid dreaming. I want to get really good at lucid dreaming. That's like I wish I could do that. I did it once, and I immediately, of course, had superpowers and could like jump really high and because that's what I want to do, man. I want to be like Inception and just go in and live my fantasy, but I don't know how to do it. I mean, I haven't put in the work. You're supposed to like have a journal and like write every single night, and like maybe if I tried that, I would actually get good at it. But I haven't put in the work.
Yeah, you're supposed to pick a particular object or something that some kind of signpost that you are thinking about real hard when you go to sleep, and then when it shows up in the dream, you'll know that you're dreaming, and then you're supposed to have like a particular way that you can wake yourself up from it whenever you want to. Also, there's a Star Trek Voyager episode about that, which is fairly accurate from what I've read about lucid dreaming. Except what I found weird about that, there's this episode of Voyager, it's in, I think, the 4th or 5th season, called Waking Moments, and in the way Chakotay does it is he goes to sleep, and whenever he sees Earth's moon, he wakes up. And I guess the idea is supposed to be, like I said, that you take it with you, like you think about it when you go to sleep, and then you take it with you. But when I was a kid, I always thought that was weird because, like, you're on a spaceship in the Delta Quadrant. Now you're dreaming, but like, how do you know that you're always going to see the Earth's moon? Like how do you know for sure that's going to pop up? But I guess the idea is that if you're concentrating about it hard enough when you go to sleep, you'll see it. I guess that's the idea. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we got 2 more super chats while we were talking about dreaming. Bag Studios, $4.99.
Hi, Bag.
As the TMNT are popular costumes, riddle me this: what is the turtle's finger called? We need to see the analysis of Ninja Turtle hands. Is it a pinky, a thumb?
Oh, I thought maybe there was a right answer and this was a trivia question, because nobody's thrown a trivia question at me yet.
Yeah. We could do that too.
Well, the turtles have. I would say it's 3 fingers before it's. Unless
But
it's.
you usually see him grab like this, so maybe it's a thumb. It's thumb-like.
I would. Yeah, no. I would think that they just have 2 fingers and a thumb as opposed to 4 fingers and a thumb, right? I like how we're both doing this, trying to create some kind of visual guide.
Visual aid.
Visual aid, yeah. Yeah, it's got to be an actual opposable thumb, right, as opposed to 3 fingers.
Yeah, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to make a fist.
Yeah, they punch a lot.
People.
I don't know how Donatello would be able to use
Hold
power
weapons?
tools.
How are you going to hold their weapons?
Yeah.
No,
It has to be a thumb.
It's definitively a thumb bag.
Yeah, it is. No, it must be, because the other thing you have to consider with the Ninja Turtles is that the point of the ooze is that it creates anthropomorphized or like personified animals. So like it takes an animal and it makes them more human-like. So like you'd have to have opposable
What's
thumbs.
more human-like than opposable thumbs? I mean, that's basically all we got. That's separates.
Yeah, that's what made it possible for us to build much of our technology. And for Nintendo, exactly.
Yeah, it makes us able to game. Thank goodness. What else would we contribute to society?
And thumb wars. Pretty clearly. Otherwise, it'd be like a finger war, and that would just be awkward. In fact, I don't even think if you'd call it a finger war, it'd be a finger duel, really.
Yeah, we just play Bloody Knuckles instead.
What are we doing? What are we talking about here?
Who knows? I blame the costumes. All right, Seeger Sticks.
That's
Seeger
absolutely
Sticks,
fair.
$2 super chat. Being the Riddler, please honor us with a riddle. Do you know riddles? Do you do riddles?
I don't. I'm not a riddle guy. I love the Riddler. I'm terrible at both remembering riddles and answering them. I know the lame ones in Batman Forever.
We got some...
You're as blind as a bat!
I think we may have got some at the beginning. I don't know. Yeah, give us your riddles, guys. That'll be fun. Us just sitting here in silence thinking, trying to figure out riddles that were bad.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. And I blame you for making us wear these costumes, DJ, because this was DJ's idea. He was like, hey, I'm going to do this really elaborate costume. It'll be cool for you because all you have to do is pull a thing out of your closet.
Well, that's an iconic Riddler suit. You've been wearing that on the channel for years. You know how many years?
Mm-hmm. I've had this... I'm sorry, what was that?
Probably close to a decade, right?
I don't know if it's been that long. I definitely got it around or just after Spawn Year.
And you used to have a cane that goes with it, unfortunately.
Yes, which I haven't replaced yet because I don't love that cane, partly because it was just that breakable. I was like, it's really fragile. I accidentally hit it again. It's on camera if you want to see it. It's the final episode of the first run of Marvel Mania. And
amazing moment in Geek Evolution history.
It's great. The stinger from that, yeah. But I want a metal one. I want like a, I don't know. I want to pay some good money and get like an actual honest to god like metal Riddler can. I think that would be really neat. Like,
yeah, that'd be awesome. Tony says,
or just ask your wife to make me one. She seems to be able to build anything.
I don't know if she can. I don't know if she's a smith. I don't know how her smithing skills are, but we can see.
It can't hurt to ask. No, that's actually the thing Brandon could build if he had the right tools.
Sweet.
He knows how to do stuff like that.
Tony wants to know what weighs 6 ounces, sits in a tree, and is very dangerous.
A sparrow with a machine gun.
See, you are good at riddles.
It's the only possible answer. No, that's just my favorite one from 60s Batman.
Yeah.
I remember that. That's in the movie. It's the only possible answer. Did you see that? I not only answered a riddle, but I answered a trivia question. Because that's essentially a trivia question.
2 sparrows with 1 stone.
Oh. That's true. That's what we did. I'm proud of it.
Cinematographic. I'm proud of it. Cinematographic just says in the chat, riddle me this, Mr. Logan. What animated series, drawn in the Bruce Timm style, is the spiritual successor to 1994's The Mask?
Wow. You mean you don't mean the Mask cartoon, you mean spiritual successor to the movie? As a cartoon drawn in that style? I'm not sure what he means by that.
Yeah, well, obviously, this might just be a subjective thing that he has thought.
Yeah. I mean, it may not be. It may be that whatever that show is, the creators of it have come on record and said all of that, and that might be what he's
Yeah, yeah.
talking about. But I don't right off know what he's driving at with that.
Interesting. Well, let us know for sure.
I'm trying to think of shows that aren't in the Timverse that I would describe as in the Bruce Timm style, and I'm coming up goose eggs with that too, honestly. But he'll probably say it, and I'll be like, "Oh yes, of course." But it's not.
Yes, of course.
Right off coming to me. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll see what he says.
AMC Comics has one. If you're
Okay.
ready for this.
All right. What do you have,
legal
sir?
position? What legal position, other than the DA, does DCAU Harvey Dent hold?
He said DCAU Harvey Dent?
Yes. Legal position.
Interesting.
Must have been
Uh,
one episode or something.
yeah, I know he gets dropped down to assistant DA, and is flummoxed about it just before he becomes Two-Face. That might be what he's talking about. That's gonna be my guess. There may be something else I'm not thinking of. I'm gonna say also assistant DA, like he gets demoted. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Matthew Base DJ's costume looks almost too real.
Yes.
You're
This is
terrifying everybody. Oh, Busted Sim says he's is he a judge? I don't remember that.
Oh, a judge. Oh, he retracted it.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember him being a judge. But Five says
Blue Dragon
technically
5?
was a judge? Okay. All right. I don't remember that.
Cool. Too bad he wasn't the judge in that in Batman Forever when that stuff got dumped on his face. He could have been in a different seat.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, yeah, but then he would have just thrown it upwards.
All right, you're gonna like this one from 5590 ERS.
Okay.
Favorite Dexter's Lab episodes.
Oh, I already answered this recently. Yeah, I don't have new answers now, unfortunately, but he must have missed that episode, so my apologies. But I really like the one where Dexter can't stop saying "omelette du fromage."
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Where he French for something along the lines of "I would like a cheese omelet" or something. And then I like the first Mandark episode quite a bit, with Mandark's unbelievably much larger laboratory. But yeah, those are my two favorites.
He becomes a vigilante called the Judge. It's a trick question.
And then Cinematographic says the correct answer for the other one is Freakazoid, and I thought of Freakazoid, but I wouldn't say that that's really in the Bruce Timm style. It's maybe a little bit inspired by that. I don't think Freakazoid looks that much like Bruce Timm.
Mm-hmm.
I should have just said that though, because I had that thought, and then I was like, no, that's not quite right. But spiritual successor to the Mask, I see why you're saying that. I think that's I don't want to just sit here and criticize people's trivia questions. That's a little bit too subjective of a way to put that, in my opinion, though. Again, that's another thing that very much is inspiring that show, is the Mask, but I don't know if I would call it a spiritual successor.
All right, well, we got one from Utale. Would you guys adopt baby Loki or baby Kal-El?
Oh, that's easy. Like, definitely Kal-El. Like, Loki's going to cause all kinds of problems for your culture. And, I mean, I would hope somebody would adopt him just because he's a baby and he deserves love too, like everybody else. But yeah, I mean, definitely Kal-El. And then you would,
well, it depends on what version. Like, if he's actually the god of mischief, like he has to be that way, then yeah. But in the movie, we're basically just supposed to take away that he's like that because Odin was just a horrible father and, like, neglected that and gave everything to his other son.
But then I can't really make a choice if it's just like you have two babies and each of them is going to become whatever they become based on their upbringing, and it really is nurture over nature entirely. Then I guess coin flip. Like,
yeah.
Unless the idea is, would you rather? Well, actually, this is kind of interesting, DJ. The question then becomes, if we're not worried about how they'll grow up, and I should have answered it this way in the first place, I didn't think of this, and more just their power sets and how difficult it would be to raise a frost giant versus a Kryptonian, I'm probably gonna go frost giant, right? Like,
Yeah, I don't know how the Kents get away with not ruining their entire town when he's trying to learn how to use his powers. Like, it's lucky. I guess it's lucky they live on a farm, but you don't live on a farm, and he
no,
would destroy your whole house.
no. Just because I live in Kansas, that's a misnomer. Just because I live in Kansas doesn't mean I live on a farm. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna go with Loki. You'd think that there would be some like superpower issues with that too, but Loki doesn't grow up and look anything like a frost giant.
Yeah, he's just, I don't know why that was always so weird in that movie. Like,
Yeah, I never.
he just touches him. He just touches him, and his skin turns all Caucasian. Why? I don't understand.
Yeah, they kind of treat him like he's half, but he's not really half, right? Like he's full frost giant. He's entirely adopted, right? Like he's Laufey's son.
Yeah.
Am I right about that?
Unless his mom was a human. I don't know. I don't know if they ever say in the movies.
And I don't remember in the comics. I'm not a big Thor guy, and it's been a long time since I've read Simonson, and that's what I've read. But I need to read JMS's run because I've always heard good things. But well, I say that's all I've read. I've read some of what's his face, the more recent, really popular run with Gore, of course. Jason Aaron. I've read some of Jason Aaron, but not all of it. Senior Six says he is half frost giant. Oh, okay. And then Mutali says his mother is also a giant. See, folks in the comments are also debating about this and not totally certain. Why doesn't he end up looking like a full-on frost giant? Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know he's Laufey's son, but I don't know who his mother is for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got one more super chat.
Okay. Thanks so much. Who is it from?
From Mutale. Putting in a lot of super chats. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah,
man.
thanks, Mutale. I appreciate you, man. And then right after this one, I'm going to take a real quick, like, 2-3 minute break.
Cool. And I will probably take this off so I can get some water because
No,
I'm not chicken.
You've got holes in the front. Just get a straw.
That would be. I'm not going to commit to that joke because I would get it all over my face and mask and keyboard and everything.
DJ, you're on point with all your props today, man. It's just everything you pick up just makes this happen.
And I didn't even do that. That was you. That was your choice.
Oh man, I don't think I should do that again. It's everywhere.
Oh, Connor's here. I gotta suit back up. Connor, go run the stream back to when you messed up my movie date in the theater with Wes
You can find out
Anderson.
how you ruined DJ's night in his dreams. Did you know that you're the DJ's version of Freddy Krueger?
Yeah. All right.
I like how when Connor shows up, everybody's like, "Hi, Connor." He's like Norm in Shears, right? Like if Connor said, everybody's like, "Hi, Connor," but like nobody else gets that. Just Connor. Even I do it on stream. Like he is the norm of the show.
Well, he's a lovely guy, and he usually tunes in like once every stream. He'll just pop in for a little bit. So that's
true. He's not here for very long. But he's just like Norm. He walks into the bar and he gets it. Well, that's not true because that guy will sit there for like 12 hours.
Yeah, he wishes he could. He's talked to me about this. He works because he's 3 hours behind us. He's working while we do the show, so he pops in here and there on his break and stuff.
Well, guys, we're going to take a real quick break, and we will be back in just a couple of minutes. We're both going to take a break so that DJ can get out of that mask. I don't know if are you going to keep it off, or are you going to put it back on?
I don't know. That's the mystery.
Ooh. All right, we'll see you guys in just a minute. All right, everybody, we're back. It's time for another part of the Captain Logan Show. And DJ has indeed decided to finally grace us with his visage.
Well, now I'm coffee shop Riddler.
Okay, show us the inside of the cup. Where's the question mark?
Sorry. I just drank it. Sorry, I messed it up. But yes, this is me. I'm still Riddler. Don't let the face fool you. My other face is... My face! You know what you should be on? One of these years, you should be Rorschach. That's the perfect costume for you.
I've kind of done Rorschach before. I have a ski mask for Rorschach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are actually really cool. This is just like... I didn't know this is what military people wore, but it just slips over the top. And then it has a little thing around the back. Very quick. Look at that. Look at that. I could be Riddler in a phone booth or anything. I could just pop it on.
That's nice and easy. Yeah.
Nice and easy. All right. Should we get back to these questions? Put on these fake glasses.
DJ, am I just so small you haven't noticed it?
Oh, you popped a tie on?
No, I'm wearing a completely different outfit.
Oh, wow. Good grief. How'd you get dressed so fast?
This one is, believe it or not, this is one piece.
Oh, so you just did like a quick change, like in a musical theater class or something.
And I hate to call it out, but I was a little bit disappointed that you didn't notice.
Oh, well, I'm self-centered Riddler over here. Wasn't even thinking.
Oh, that's all right. No, but you said it earlier. You because you called it, and I was like, oh man, I can't believe you called it. So I thought you'd pick up on it right away. Because toward the beginning of the show, you were like, he's gonna run off and put on another costume, and then I downplayed it because I had that plan. Like I had it waiting in the wings.
Oh, you sneaky little man! Wow.
But yeah, this jacket doesn't have question marks on it, and it's more silky. But yeah, this is a store-bought Riddler costume that I had before I bought the whole suit. They're both store-bought, but I don't like this one as well, but I've never worn it on camera, and I haven't pulled it out in forever, and it actually is a little bit more Jim Carrey-ish, which is... And actually,
I like it.
Actually, it's a little bit more animated series-ish. So somebody mentioned that version earlier, and it looks a little bit more like... He's got a couple outfits, but it looks a little bit more like one of those.
Yeah, you just need a bowler hat, and it'd be perfect.
Which I have somewhere, but I wasn't going to go try to fish it out because I got headphones, and anyway...
Yeah. See, if I had fully committed to the second costume, I would have shaved. Because he has such a baby face.
It would have been like, we'll see in about 10 minutes, everybody. You come back, you've got red razor burn. It's like,
so, yeah, you're over there throwing your costume on, and I'm over here shaving.
I feel like the most distracting thing in the universe would be, you're like, here's our next super chat. You ask the question, and then I get 5 seconds into the question, and suddenly I just hear,
yeah, I just go over here.
You start shaving on camera? DJ, I don't think you've thought this through. You've got it all over your keyboard. You should have put plastic down.
Well, I'll just put my mask right here to catch it all. Except there's giant eye holes.
We are only an hour into the show. Feel free to throw in more questions, comments, topics, and super chats, and we'll keep going for as long, up to 2 hours, as folks are engaged and interested in. Hope you're enjoying tonight's somewhat half-assed Halloween special. I certainly am. All right. What are people asking about, DJ? That's a good look for you. I think you should get... Do you have contact? Do you wear contacts?
Yeah, I have glasses, but I've never done the clear glasses. So this
I was going to say, you should get that looks good on you. Like, legitimately, that looks cool on you. Obviously, you probably wouldn't go for as huge, as wide of frames, but that's a good look for you.
Yeah. Actually, these kind of look like my glasses. My glasses are kind of like this, just black. So I could maybe try them out. I never wear glasses in public because my family was very cruel and would make fun of me every time I put my glasses on. So I still have I'm still very self-conscious about it.
Is that your tragic backstory?
Yes, it's my tragic backstory. And someone drank all my coffee. I mean, my life's a mess.
The evil version of DJ murdered his whole family for making fun of him for having glasses.
Yeah, that's the welder's backstory. This is actually an office mug.
That's one of 15 welder backstories.
Yeah,
I'm just joking. Obviously, DJ wouldn't kill us. Everybody lighten up, okay? I'm just kidding. You know, if we wrote like a comic book version of like a fictional DJ, I'm so tense.
The welder is like the Joker, where he just has, he just gives 15 different backstories. Every time he's at a party, he gives a different backstory.
Is that like a joke cup? You want to find out how I got this mask? Do you want to know how I learned to weld?
I want to find out how I got this helmet.
One day I was welding, and my wife couldn't stand to look at me.
That's actually, I never thought about that. That would be a cool backstory. Is like he has a welding accident, and his welder's helmet is welded to his face.
Oh, that's a good one.
So he can't ever take
I love the
off.
glare of the show in the mask.
Oh, cool.
Well, yeah, if you look down far enough, we can see OBS in it.
I literally can't see anything in this because that's the point of this, is you're not supposed to be able to see anything.
Oh,
so
okay. But you'd be like, if it was welded to your face, you'd be a little bit like the Rhino.
Yes, that's next year. I'm gonna get a giant mech suit. We're really going all out for 2023.
You're gonna get a giant Rhino suit? Somebody on the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid Facebook group for the board game, which I'm real actively involved with that community, posted, maybe I'll pull it up and show it to you guys because it's awesome, posted his Halloween costume this year, and he built DJ a life-size, it looks bigger, honestly, but I guess he can fit in it, a life-sized Dragon Zord, and it looks really good. And I mean, I've seen those before. This is the coolest one I've seen, but I'll see if I can find it for you guys. And this page is not loading for me right now for some reason. But anyway, we can go and start answering more questions if anybody has anything.
All right, we'll finally get to this Mutale question that we've teased like 3 times.
It better be really good, Mutale. I'm counting on you, sir.
Trivia question.
Oh,
a super chat trivia question. We got a first. Yeah.
Oh,
well, I guess the turtle hands from Bag was technically a trivia question.
I'm terrified.
More like an existential crisis.
I'm gonna have this here in a second. Hold on. I'm close. I'm gonna have this in a second. Oh, I can show you one of my posts real quick. Check this out. So I get a lot of engagement with this group with my Power Ranger stuff. Look at my crazy box wall now. I post this every time the new stuff comes in, and over the weekend we got a new shipment, and this is what the box wall looks like now.
Whoa, looks like a KB Toys.
I wrote, "Is it out of hand yet? You be the judge." Look at that insanity.
I love Patrick Warburton in the back and just looking confused at your wall. Like, whoa, what is this?
It goes all the way to the end of the wall now.
Wow. Has it ever fallen over?
No, it has not.
Have you ever been play fighting with your kids and then like they punch you into it and the whole wall...
Put these boxes here.
That's something I would do with my kids.
I'm honestly kind of shocked that hasn't happened yet. I'm not seeing this yet. Oh, here it is. Okay, check this out. That thing's amazing. Look at this thing, DJ.
Whoa. How does he walk? That must be so...
I don't know, but it's awesome.
That's worse than wearing a Riddler mask for an hour.
Well, I mean, by a lot, yeah. It doesn't look like you can move in it.
Yeah, it's just for picture taking. That's
I wonder what it's made out of.
Does he show up at cons like out of the fountain? He's just hiding in the fountain. And...
You just... out of nowhere you hear... And then just this huge cardboard costume comes out of water.
It's all soggy. Falling apart. I am Soggy Dragon Zord.
That's horrifying. What are your missiles made out of? Like Soggy Dragon Zord, he's shooting missiles out of his fingers, and they're just like hot dogs.
What are Dragon Zord's fingers? Pinky? Thumb? You be the judge.
You know, we should expect this kind of content 236 shows in.
Well, you start off with goofy costumes and voices and take a break halfway through. What do you expect? At least I'm not drinking. I'm just drinking water. Finally, I can drink some water after that
drink
first
anything.
hour. All right. Let's read Vitaly's question, shall we? Oh.
I don't know, it's the cup. Just when the cup comes out.
I can change my lights to red. Do we want to do a Batman thing?
No, don't do that. I'm sad that I can't change mine right now. It's not. I couldn't get the app to let me log in. You just got a remote for yours.
Oh, for some reason that one's turning pink on me.
Oh, there it goes. Oh no, it's kind of purplish.
That's weird.
Weird.
Oh, they're going. It's madness. They're going crazy. They're turning back to green.
Oh man, it's gotten all sabotaged. Did a comet go overhead? Is it maximum overdrive? What's going on?
Connor is not only sabotaging my theater setup, he's sabotaging my lights. I can't get rid of him.
Okay, let's finally answer Mutale's question, which we've been trying to do for the last 15 minutes. My apologies to Mutale. Go ahead.
All right, he has a trivia question for us. Which actor from an '07 superhero film had a role in the Gotham TV show, and which Marvel or DC superhero would you make your kid's godparent? Okay, so first trivia question.
2007 superhero movie, an actor who winds up in Gotham. Did Rise of the Silver Surfer come out in 07? Or is it 08? I'm going to assume that you're going for Michael Chiklis.
Ooh.
I'm going to assume that's what that's.
It is 07 because it's 05 and 07.
Oh, is it 05 and 07? Yeah, I knew it was 05. And yeah, Rise of the Silver Surfer couldn't be 08 because we'd all be like, well, that's one of the biggest years for superhero movies, but it was tarnished just a little bit by Rise of the Silver Surfer. No, the answer is Michael Chiklis. And if there's another answer, then Michael Chiklis counts along with whatever the other answer is. Because the only other thing that came to mind was TMNT, and there's not. And that doesn't fit with like Patrick Stewart or anything. So
yeah, wow, good job. You were quick on that. I haven't seen Gotham, so there's no way I had a chance, but you nailed it.
Thanks, man.
Nice work. And then the second part, which Marvel or DC superhero would you make your kid's godparent? He's really involved with these like raising kids questions, like who would you give your kids to? Who would you raise as a kid?
Because we're boring fathers now, so these are the kinds of things that we're thinking about all the time.
He's trying to get on our level. All we talk about is kids and father stuff.
Mutali says Michael Chiklis counts, but it's not him. He's thinking of somebody else. But I mean, it does count. I did answer your question, but he's thinking of somebody else even. Okay, let me see if I can come up with another one. Real briefly, I'll think about this. What else comes out in 07 besides Rise of the Silver Surfer and TMNT?
Spider-Man 3.
I'm running through my brain here. I can't think of anybody from Spider-Man 3 that would show up in Gotham. But you're right. Good call on that. Is a movie that comes out that year. Ghost Rider is not that year, right? Isn't that 06?
Yeah.
Some of these years I'm a little bit off on right now.
I think you're right about that. It's got to be Spider-Man 3 or Rise of the Silver Surfer, right?
Unless there's a voice actor in TMNT that shows up in Gotham that I'm not thinking of.
Or Underdog.
Ghost Rider
is 07. Okay, could be Ghost Rider.
Is there anybody in Ghost Rider that's in that show?
Eva Mendes.
Eva Mendes is not in that show, I don't believe.
That's right, Ghost Rider is 07. Man, a lot of superhero movies in 07. Not a lot of great ones.
No, but there is a big cast of random supervillains that all die real quick in that, so it's possible one of them shows up in Gotham. He's probably thinking of somebody really obscure. Maybe
he's thinking of Zodiac. Maybe he considers Zodiac a superhero movie.
Oh, well then take your pick at that point. No, I'm kidding. I don't think there's anybody in that movie that shows up in Gotham either. They show up in a lot of superhero movies, but...
Well, you'll have to let us know. Or unless anyone in the chat. It'll take longer drinks so you have time to find it.
Yeah, I'm not quick enough on the button with that. I don't have enough screens. I have a 3-screen setup plus a projector screen that's not on right now, and I need 6. Like, anyway, so the other question was, what, a superhero you'd make a godparent? or just a comic character. What is happening back there? He's just trying it again. It's gonna get obnoxious if I keep doing that, so I'm gonna stop for right now. But anyway, I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Which Marvel or DC superhero would you make your kid's godparent?
Superhero, yeah. I mean, the obvious answer is Superman or anybody with those sensibilities, right? Like I don't know. It's hard to come up with a really interesting question to these kinds of things because always just who's endearing that you would and who would you trust your children with? Like I'd trust my children with Steve Rogers or Clark Kent or.
Yeah, Steve Rogers is interesting because like he didn't live his life, so he didn't get much experience. I don't know if he would be a good father. He hasn't worked with kids. Like he's gone. And he doesn't know, like, he wouldn't be able to, like, I mean, obviously he has the morals, but he wouldn't be able to, like, tell you about, because your father has experienced things only, like, 20 years ago, so they can kind of walk you through it. He's, like, he's so far removed, and he hasn't lived in this world for a long time. I don't know if he would be good, but that'd be an interesting story. I'd like to see him try to be a father and explore how tough that would be if you never went through and made all the mistakes that you were supposed to make in life.
That's a good point. But I mean, part of the reason I say the Superman is because we've got a version that has been a father now.
Yeah. Superman has lived his whole life.
But
I think the Captain America thing is.
That is interesting.
Really interesting.
Do you have a more interesting answer right away?
No, man. Superheroes, especially Marvel, which is what I'm familiar with, are such messed up people. I don't know if I trust them.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a lot of side characters that you'd, be more likely to give your kids to. Cinematographic says Donald Logue. What superhero movie is he in 2007? Is that Blade Trinity? And is he still in those at that point? Yeah, if that's what it is, I'm not sure what movie he's in, but...
Interesting. All right, I'm going to jump back to pre-writtens.
Cool.
That was our last super chat. So if you guys have any more, please throw them down in the chat. Any questions you have, we will answer them. I'm going to go back to... I don't have many from the beginning either. Madman.
And if you don't, we're just going to sit around listening to this.
Yeah, so ask questions.
Anyway, what's up?
All right. What would you do if I told you I was on Falcone's payroll?
I know Donald Logue plays Bullock. I'm saying what superhero movie is he in 2007? Anyway, I'm sorry. What was the question?
Well, speaking of cinematographic, well, that was just Madman messing with me. He said, what would you do if I told you I was on Falcone's payroll? He directed that at me. I can't tell you what I do because this is a family show. It's a family show. And I'm also not in my other alter ego at the moment.
I think it might have something to do with trying to get you underneath a light.
Yes, out into the light. How about I just give you a demonstration of what I would do?
It's a little on the nose when you say it out loud.
God, it's harder. The more you do it, the harder that is to do it. I'm just wasting all this duct tape.
Yeah, and mine would just be entirely ineffective. Here's what I'm gonna do to you. Merry Christmas!
The sound is better on yours, though. The sound on Scotch tape is piercing. It's like a nails on a chalkboard.
That's true. Yeah. But sound effects guys in movies go to town when Scotch tape gets pulled out. You ever notice that? Where it's like, it's definitely louder than it's ever been when you've done it, right? You get a movie like this, like... he's in Ghost Rider. I forgot about that.
He plays Mac in Ghost Rider.
Well, those are both possible answers. I forgot he was in that for a second. Yeah. Good call. Good question. But I still got it.
We got a super chat from Side-Scrolling Hero 16.
No Side-Scrolling Hero. You don't need to submit to a link. Just post in the questions there and tag DJ Martinez or The Welder or Duct Tape Man.
Duct Tape Man. Yeah, he doesn't even he did write it. He was just double checking. So he says, I know I keep asking, but I will continue to ask if a common writer, specifically Kuga, review/content incoming.
No, I don't have any plans for more Kamen Rider right now. We did one on request, and that stuff was interesting and it was fun to talk about. But I'm not planning on doing any lengthy series on that stuff or anything. If I happen to watch something or read something that I find really interesting and I want to do it on the show, I will. But no immediate plans for more Kamen Rider right now. I'd love to do more Tokusatsu stuff in general, but I would be more likely at the moment to do stuff on Sentais before I would Kamen Rider, just because I've never done anything on the Sentais, like, at all. And DJ and I have threatened to do blind commentaries on some of that stuff, and we just haven't gotten around to it.
I watched a movie last night that might as well have been Power Rangers. It was absolutely insane. I thought of you when I was watching it. I got the Yokai Monsters set for a month ago, and I've been planning to watch through it this Halloween.
Oh, crazy.
It's 3 movies from the 60s, a series of movies from the 60s, the Yokai Monsters trilogy, and also there's a remake on here from like the early 2000s. But I was going to watch through the 60s trilogy, and they're Japanese films. Yokai are Japanese folklore monsters, and there's 3 films. I've seen 2 of them now. The first one was this really atmospheric, like slow burn, actually kind of spooky movie with guys in tokusatsu like rubber suits. And the second one just goes bonkers, like bananas. It's basically Power Rangers, but the good guys are also monsters suits. like you follow a group of like 6 goofy rubber suit monsters, and they're fighting this evil monster. He even gets big at the end. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Well, I want to see that. That sounds amazing.
It's called Spook Warfare, and what a weird movie.
Weird. It's a weird title too.
All right. What do
and
we
I
have
love that
here?
period in general. I tend to like 60s films.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I got it, because it's based on folklore and because just the special effects look crazy. Like there's this woman who has like a Mr. Fantastic stretchy neck.
Oh,
like
weird.
Creepily.
Well, how the hell do you do that in live action in 1960, whatever?
They've got this awesome like giant stretchy prop that she like wraps around the villain, and then he like just ties her in a knot. It's crazy. Such a crazy movie.
That's neat. I gotta tell you, with your lighting in the background right now, your collection looks less color coordinated.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But
there's a lot of dark patches where it's just like, ooh, it's so mysterious. What spooky tales lie behind DJ Martinez?
Spooky tales.
You'll never know. And then you reach back and you pick something from the dark abyss, and it's just that's Winnie the Pooh. Ooh.
Robert Weil just popped in and said, "What did I miss?" And side-scrolling hero said, "DJ's full Riddler costume pop off." Yeah, I'm not wearing it. So you might have to scroll back, Robert.
Yeah, but you can.
And Cap also changed.
Yeah, I'm wearing a different Riddler suit.
It's Riddlerverse. You missed Riddlerverse, basically.
Yeah, well, we're still in it, but you're more casual, and I'm John Glover, apparently.
John Glover, apparently, which is always a good sentence to say.
Yeah, well, because John Glover voiced him in the animated series, and we were talking about how this looks kind of like that version.
Yeah.
But I also have like John Glover hair right now too, so like I could be John Glover as like live action John Glover as the Riddler with Lionel Luthor hair. I can't even see it when I have my headphones on. It's all on my face.
There he is. Now he's instantly a horrible father.
Nah, not instantly.
But he's good at fencing. That's cool. That's like, hey, people do that. It's like a crossover costume. It's like your John Glover Riddler, who voices him, but also you look like John Glover.
Sure.
I don't know what the kids are calling that these days.
I'm sure there's a word for it, and it probably sounds stupid.
All right, Josh Galisano just put in a super chat, $5. Thank you,
Josh.
Josh. What horror movie villain would be a great Batman villain?
Oh, that's a great question. I like that a lot. I think the first thing that comes to mind that's really obvious is Jigsaw seems like a Batman villain.
Mm-hmm. Also, Zodiac is a Batman villain.
Sure. I mean, like, that's a real life villain. We've talked about how that's very comic book in the first place, and not really a horror movie villain, because I wouldn't classify that as a horror movie, but
Yeah.
but sure.
What's that? I'm just gonna have him on my shoulder talking to me the whole time. That's not creepy at all.
That is creepier than any other thing that you've done this evening. Like,
Huh?
no, that's messed up. Now it kind of looks like The Mask, like from Jim Carrey's Mask. You put that out like really slowly, it's like,
Yeah, just
it just like catches on your face. We do a special effect later. There's light coming out of it.
yeah. No, this is a good question. I don't watch enough horror movies. I would like, obviously Norman Bates would be cool, but he's not like he's got to be supernatural a little bit to be like a Batman villain.
Not necessarily. I mean, that's not a bad choice either, because of his psychosis, right? Like, there's a lot of Batman villains that don't have superpowers or are really supernatural in any way.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them have... maybe what you're thinking more is just like a more specific
heightened
motif. Like, you know, he's not like an ice guy. He's not a... You know what I mean? He's not like obsessed with
He's
riddles.
an old lady guy.
Yeah. He thinks he's his own mother. But that seems like a thing that could be a Batman villain.
A Batman villain who has his mother's corpse that he talks to is perfect. Like, that's great.
No, absolutely.
What if we just combine him with crap, I can't remember the puppet villain Batman right now.
With Scarface.
Scarface, yes. He just walks around and actually uses his mother's corpse as a puppet.
Oh my god, that's messed up. Yeah, that's really good.
That's horrifying.
Well, somebody earlier said Chucky, and I'm like, well, but you've already got Scarface. But that might be a fun, like, team-up thing. Because Mutali said Freddy Krueger, and I'm like, that doesn't feel like a Batman villain to me, but it would be really interesting to see that crossover into Sandman, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, and obviously you've got all the classic, like, Creature from the Black Lagoon is would be cool, but he's kind of close to Killer Croc, and you've got the Invisible Man. All those classic horror monster movies would be perfect for
and we
Batman.
make Dracula a Batman villain somewhat frequently.
Yeah.
Like, he's already been a Batman villain, and in an excellent animated film where we do a lot of really cool parallels with the two of them. DJ, would you give me just like 5 seconds?
Sure, absolutely. Cap needs 5 seconds, I'm assuming, so he can put on yet a third costume. But if anyone's seen the movie House, I think the old lady from House would be an excellent Batman villain. Houseu, Japanese film. She's horrifying. He's back.
I know you thought I was going to come back with yet a third Riddler suit, but alas, I don't have that.
I just wanted to be like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo when he goes in his closet and just opens the door and it's just nothing but Riddler suits hanging.
I would do that too, man. I love the Riddler and the look of the Riddler so much that, yeah, sure, I'd wear a green Riddler suit every day. You know what I should start doing? I should wear a full-on Riddler costume every St. Patrick's Day. And just go out in it.
Get away with it. Yeah, I'm going to start wearing this every St. Patrick's Day. Just out in public. See what people say.
It's not even really green, though.
It's pretty green. My lighting's just really dark.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If I turn on the light real quick.
But you'd have to be in just the right lighting for people to even be able to tell that that's green. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's green.
Man, it's
not
you still can't.
Super green.
It's like army green in real life. It's like army green.
Yeah.
If you were here with me. But it's definitely not your green. Your green is
Emerald
fantastic.
green. This is Wizard of Oz green.
Wizard of Oz green.
So with all the horror villains people are putting in the comments right now, it makes me think that there's not really too many that wouldn't be okay as Batman villains. Right? Because some of them have some, with the exception of Michael Myers, like most of them have some kind of psychosis, like messed up backstory that turns them into a crazed psychopathic killer. Most of them would belong in an asylum.
Mm-hmm. Or
they're people that are like undead now, and Batman goes up against Solomon Grundy quite a bit. So I mean, like even that there's precedent for with like that level of supernatural.
It's very. I mean, Batman's almost the easiest one to do that with. It'd almost be harder to do like any other superhero.
Because Batman has enough horror motifs going on a lot of the time in the first place, right? Like,
Someone asked a similar question at the beginning of the stream.
yeah,
Tony.
Tony. There's so many different ways to read that, you know. Like you'd be like, I'm annoyed at Tony. Tony.
You can read it like Obadiah Stane. Tony.
You've upgraded your armor.
I made a few upgrades of my own.
Oh, that's great.
It's not an upgrade though, because he just flies after that, and he already did that in the first scene. So I don't know what he's talking about.
You know, I don't know. No, I don't either. Or you could go Brady Bunch with it, like Tony.
All right, Kappa DJ, what slasher/horror film franchise would best suited for a 10-episode miniseries or TV show?
Oh, interesting. Well, a lot of them have already
Psycho,
gone to TV.
because Bates Motel happened and it was great.
Yeah, Bates Motel happened. Chucky's got a TV show now, and I've not seen past the first couple episodes, but it's possible after multiple seasons of that, I'll go, and maybe this should have just been a miniseries, but I don't know. Evil Dead got a TV show. Like, a lot of the... Scream got a TV show. Like, a lot of these things have had, multiple seasons or a season of TV at this point, so it's kind of hard to say. Like, I guess you could you do... It doesn't have to be slasher, right? He said slasher or just horror film.
Slasher or horror film franchise, yeah.
You would risk stretching things out too much, being too decompressed with this, but it might be interesting to see like a Poltergeist miniseries.
Oh, you would love that, yeah.
That's maybe a little bit more in real time, where you start with just stuff that's starting to get weird in the house, and they try to live in it for like 2 or 3 episodes, and then eventually they have to leave, and like you could stretch that story or even go beyond it over a period of a few episodes. I guess that's going to be my answer, but I'm not. Again, I feel like there's not a lot of wrong answers here. I think you could pitch most things as like I just watched Candyman for the first time today. I could see that as like a procedural drama kind of thing. But anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna say this isn't a franchise, but I would love to see a Cabin in the Woods anthology show.
Oh yeah.
Where each season is a different part of the world that they're, because there's a bunch. The whole that's what the movie's about. There's all these different Dharma initiatives all around the world where they're trying to get these kids to die.
What a cool idea! And then you could explore, explore horror mythology of various cultures that way.
Exactly, be great.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea.
Thank you. I have one every blue moon, once in a blue moon.
No, that's a great answer. I should start drinking Blue Moon on camera just to go once in a blue moon.
I should start drinking again just so you can play the theme again.
Oh, yeah, sure. That needs a dedicated monitor. It really does.
Is that a cover?
Yes.
Cool.
Which is the only way I'm getting away with it, if I'm even getting away with it.
Yeah.
That's going to get copyright flagged all day long, probably, but...
Nobody ever sees. Utale... I don't know if he was actually asking us this or he was just saying in the chat because we were quoting him. He said, "Is there any MCU villain more quotable than Obadiah Stane?" Probably not.
Or if so, it's a tie with whoever else it is, right? Like, I mean, I can't think of anybody else right away that I quote villain-wise from MCU as much as him. The box of scraps. Like, yeah, there's several.
It's just so good. That was just a time where it's weird, right? We weren't trying to make things quotable back then. We were just making a movie. Now they try to make things quotable, sticking jokes and quips everywhere because of Joss Whedon and a little bit of Gunn. And now nothing's quotable. When everything's quotable, nothing is.
Yeah. It's also calculated now.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can blame those guys, but I feel like the self-awareness with the MCU could have been inevitable regardless if it was going to get that popular.
Oh yeah, the self-awareness absolutely.
But I think that
gonna
that comes from that to some degree, where like you're trying to plug in for the formula of what is successful for these things, and I mean, it's not like we didn't have one-liners with superheroes and supervillains pre-Whedon. You know what I mean? Like, I could see us, even without that, if somebody else directed Avengers, eventually getting to the place where it's like, what's going to be the big catchphrase from this movie that we've got to use to sell it?
Yeah, as they became more and more like straight-up action movies, you have to have those.
Yeah, because one thing to consider, too, is so much of Iron Man is improvised. I don't even know that all of Jeff Bridges' quotable lines came from the script. Like some or all of them might be just Jeff Bridges. Like, he might have thought in the moment to say, box the scraps! Like, you don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting that, because Iron Man 2 is shot kind of the same way, and it's not memorable at all. So I wonder where that came from.
It's got its moments. He can't put his head in that. I like that part.
Oh, yeah, Justin Hammer is great.
You said it all. I remember that.
I can never remember that guy's name, but he's always great in everything he's in.
Yeah. It's too bad that they hadn't that they'd already used him by the time you got to Thor Ragnarok, because they needed those kinds of improv actors.
What do you call it? People who are actually funny? Yeah, they needed those.
People who are funny in that you're buying that the performance is coming from somewhere and not just an actor being told say funny things.
Yeah.
You know, like, it feels like he's playing a character and not just himself standing around saying things.
Sam Rockwell. Thank you, Daniverse.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
great.
I couldn't think of it right away either.
I've
got blind spots like that. Rockwell is one of them. I can never think of his name in the moment.
I know you know this, but what trivia question for the chat? What other superhero film is he in? He has a pretty quotable line in that film, too.
I know what you're talking about.
All right, we have while you guys are noodling that, you probably already, if they're watching your channel, they know that. Robert Wild, $2. Cap, have you replaced your Riddler cane yet?
No, I mentioned that earlier. I still haven't. I want to get a, like, solid, I want to get a metal one that's not going to break on camera. I kind of want to get a custom job done. Like, maybe I'll jump on Etsy and see if anybody's making Riddler cans, or if I can't, like, ask for something real specific.
All right, we got one from Cinematographic at the beginning of the show. This will let you flex your Star Trek legs.
I'll try not to be too long, DJ. I always get really self-conscious when Star Trek comes up, because I know DJ's not a Star Trek guy, and a lot of people watching us aren't, and so, like, I'll go off in a rabbit hole and be like, I'm sorry, I just wasted everybody's time again.
No, this is your show, man. You take the spotlight. Cap, given your experience with Star Trek, given your experience with Star Trek, hypothetically, would Starfleet Section 31 be pro or anti-Prime Directive in terms of non-interference?
Boy, I feel like I've answered this before. Or maybe I just saw that question at one point and we never ended up answering it, because I think he's tried to ask that 2 or 3 different shows.
Yeah, I believe he has.
So I think the correct answer to this is Section 31 is pro everything Starfleet stands for and feels the need to do the wrong things in order to preserve that. So the cynicism of Section 31 is the Starfleet or the Federation and the Prime Directive being one of the main tenets that the Federation is built on cannot exist unless we take some, like, kind of harsh, not above board methods in order to, like, again, preserve that. So the idea is, like, it's not a true utopia. You have to take some kind of drastic measures in order to make that happen. So of course so they would be, like, pro Prime Directive for everybody else, but they're an exception to themselves to all the rules, which is why they're scary and dangerous. But I've always liked the idea. We've taken it too far, and they're in everything now, and it's awful. But the original idea with Section 31 that Moore and Ira Stephen Bear came up with is brilliant, I think, because it's kind of the encapsulation of their whole premise with Deep Space Nine, which is, let's explore whether utopia is even possible and challenge all of the Federation's ideas and ideals and see if the Federation can still wind up on top at the end of the day. And it humanizes everything. There's a lot of people that say that DS9 is kind of anti-Star Trek, and in my mind, it isn't, because it's sort of like with Captain America and Superman. It's not enough just to put those, especially in this day and age. It's sort of like Golden Age Star Trek versus modern Star Trek, right? It's not enough to just put these characters on screen and say, look, it works. They have to be challenged. It has to be difficult. It's more endearing, and we trust and believe in them, and maybe would work harder in our own lives to be like them if we see them overcome adversity, as opposed to it's just easy to be altruistic. So anyway.
Dude, that music is good. I think I'm gonna have to listen to that score a little bit before we do our top 10 scores, just in case it breaks in there, at least on honorable mentions or something, just because I've only seen the film once, so obviously it's not going to make my list right now, but I think I need to do a little listening to that, because it's so good.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about that yet. By the way, let's go ahead and plug that. That's going to be in a week and a half now. So Monday, this coming Monday, I'm going to be reviewing Mystery of the Batwoman. This won the last... Yay!
Woo! One of Riddler's favorite movies. One of Riddler's favorites.
This one favorite movies to torture people with. No, that won the Rewind producer poll for this next week, and I imagine it won probably because I just did a DCAU 24-hour stream this last weekend. So that's topical. It goes in with that. And then the week after, still Monday night, 10 o'clock Central, I'm going to have DJ guesting, and I never do that on Rewind, but we're going to do it this time. I wanted to put it under the Rewind moniker because it's a video I've wanted to make for a long time, and DJ really knows his stuff when it comes to movie scores, and so I thought it would be cool to have him come in, and both of us will give our list of our top 10 superhero movie scores overall, and then, especially if there's a lot of interest in that, we may come back and do a follow-up later on where we do individual tracks, because there's a lot of scores that are very likely to be represented in that video that wouldn't be in a discussion of just our favorite overall scores.
Exactly, 100%. I was going to give at the beginning of that episode, and be like, there would be so many more scores on here. It's tough because I got to find scores that I like a majority of the songs on, right? I have to like enough songs on here for it to make a top 10 overall scores. But superhero themes or individual tracks would be a totally different list, because there's a lot of scores where I just really, really like one or two tracks and I don't listen to the rest of the score.
Yeah, and for me, I'm not sure if it's a totally different list. Like, I think that there are some superhero movies where they have a really memorable theme or fanfare, but then also the rest of the score is very listenable. Like, this list ends up being kind of unfair to ambient score, because you're not as likely to pick a score that works really well within the film, but you wouldn't want to just listen to it on its own. But then there are tracks from those scores that are more likely to make a list of just the individual tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll probably give all this preamble at the beginning of that episode, because it's a very specific video that we're making. And I thank you so much. It's such an honor to be even invited onto there,
man.
And I'll try not to completely ruin it for anyone who might guest in the future.
It's a bona fide podcast at this point, so it makes sense to occasionally do guests when it makes sense, and those kinds of list videos, I think, are sometimes more fun with another person.
Yeah, absolutely. And
especially when the list is going to be very different. You were about to say that.
I think we'll have a very different list. We have very different tastes in not just music, but superhero movies, so it's going to be very different.
Yeah, well, and if I may, DJ, some of the classics you're not even that familiar with or you haven't seen. So, there's stuff that's bound to make my list just because I grew up with it real hard, and, scores that I've listened to a lot that you're not, super familiar with.
And I'll go ahead and spoil this. I'm not a huge DC guy, so DC's not going to show up on my list too much. There is some of it on there, but I know you'll have way more DC, obviously, than I will. So
Yeah, I have not made the list yet. In the back of my mind, I know what at least half of it is, I think, like for
Hmm.
sure. And people that have watched the channel a long time and know me and have listened to Rewind for a lot of years could probably guess at least half of my list. Uh,
Hmm.
that's part of why I wanted to have you too. Is I just think it'll be more interesting because I think people could peg probably 7 or 8 of my tracks pretty readily. Oh, real quick, because we like to just plan things on air. Let me ask you this: Are we? Do you want to make this strictly orchestral? Because what I wanted to pitch you was not strictly orchestral, but also not um like previously like recorded tracks that are used for a film. You know what I mean? Not so
Yeah, scores over soundtrack, but no, I wasn't thinking strictly like orchestral music. Like there's a lot of electronic superhero
yeah.
scores. Not a lot, but there's some.
Okay, so you're on the same page as me. Like I want to be able to open up for that, but the word I was looking for was incidental. I don't want to do incidental score for
Hmm.
this. That would be even another really interesting video, and there's not as many of those, so that would be almost more of a ranking list, I think, before it's anything. Because then,
Yeah.
because then you could rank like Watchmen and Kick-Ass and the Guardians films, and talk about specifically incidental music, and how that works as score. But I kind of wanted to leave those off for this.
Well, Daredevil has some of that too.
It
That was
does,
a
but you
film.
could, but I also think that we should be allowed to use scores that do have a lot of original music and just leave out the rock stuff or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you could
absolutely.
say Daredevil, it has score and a theme.
And it's pretty good. I actually have that one on my phone. I listened to that one. I don't know if you've gone back to that one, but it's pretty good.
It's good. I like it a lot. I probably don't like it enough to rank it,
Yeah,
but I
I don't
like
think
it.
it's not going to make my list, but it's pretty cool. And I am assuming we're leaving off TV entirely.
Yeah,
Somebody asked us in the chat if we're going to do a countdown of TV show scores. That's a whole yeah, it's a whole. This is like a series. Good grief! I didn't realize
hmm
how many we could do.
Well, and I thought about maybe making this a series. I don't think I want to do them all in 1 month, but I think spread out over a little bit of time. Not a
Okay.
long time. Like we could maybe come back in like January or February and do one, but because I just don't know. First of all, I don't think I can like keep you up past 4 Mondays in a row.
Yeah, well, it's 11 here.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
yeah,
Yeah, but I do think that probably is a series of videos ultimately.
yeah. Of course, that's the one that first comes to my mind too. Robert Wild is the Daredevil theme. Um, but that's just the opening. I can't think of like
Scores
the
for
rest of
TV.
the score.
Score for TV is tough. I would have to really immerse myself and do a lot of research, and that would take a lot longer if we're not just doing
Yeah,
themes. Now, themes would be easier, and that should be a video also, because once again, just like with movies, that's a different list probably.
yeah, yeah. Themes would be cool. But yeah, score. I don't listen to superhero like scores, TV scores. That'd be tough.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you'd have to really do your homework on that if that's what people are talking about. I suspect people will be more interested in just themes, and I've thought about doing a top 10 cartoon openings, so it wouldn't just be the song, it would also be the way the thing is edited, because that's
Mhm.
interesting too. But that could be part of our series, or I could do that by myself. But anyway, these are conversations we should have at some point.
Meetings that should be off air.
Yeah, but we've done part
But
of it, so look at us. There's some homework done already. But I was gonna say earlier, I think it's probably I'm probably not going too far to say that probably half of my list is DC.
yeah, which is great. Which I'm glad because I feel like I'm going to underrepresent them. Just because a lot of how music hits you is, emotional and
Yep.
nostalgia plays a big part in that. What you grew up with plays a big part in that. So I like a lot of DC stuff. It's not what hits me the hardest, which is usually how music resonates with me.
And Batman has everything to do with why I even listen to movie scores at all, apart from the movies. Like, I don't know if I would even have that.
Yeah. All right, we got a super chat from Utale. He's trying to get us off this music this music conversation.
That's fair. Oh, and we've only got 8 minutes left in the show.
Yeah, I think we're probably about ready to wrap up. Utali wants to know, you hear what Matthew Perry said about Keanu Reeves?
No, I did not.
Come on, you're not up on your gossip? I did hear that he's doing like a 60 Minutes about his
look this up?
about his drug use and all that, like all his, because he's had a hard life, Matthew Perry. His addiction.
Well,
and stuff.
I thought we read something on a show recently where there was a book that he put out like a few years ago that was being quoted.
Oh, interesting. Is that what people are talking about? Because that's great. Let's just dig up people's comments from years ago. That always works out.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of gossipy. I don't really want to get into this, I don't think. There's a Variety article about this. You can look it up. It looks like a thing that maybe was taken out of context. I don't want to get into this. I would need to read about it. I'm not even going to read it, I don't think, at the moment, because I didn't know about it. It's too gossipy for my taste.
Well, we're not too far from just a gossip channel.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want to do that.
We have standards, people. We have standards. We just don't know what they are.
Allegedly. Well, do we have any more super chats?
We do not. That's the last one.
Other Riddler. Oh, good, cool. Well, folks,
someone gave us a Riddler themed trivia question. This will be good to end on. How about this?
Absolutely, yeah. And then I will make an announcement.
Ooh, sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes there. What character?
No, not at all. I was about to say if there's anything else that you see, we can go ahead and answer something, and then I'll do that. But that will be the very last thing. Absolutely, go ahead.
One step ahead of you, as always, Batman. What character did Edward Nygma's Batman Forever boss, Fred Stickley's actor, play in BTAS, Batman the Animated Series?
I don't know that right off.
Edward Nygma's Batman Forever boss, Fredley Stickley's actor. Wow.
Stickley. Yeah, I know who he's talking about, but I just don't know who that actor voiced.
All right.
And I don't know that actor's name.
Turn it over to you, chat.
I could rack my brain for a while and see if I could come up with something that seems close and try to give you a guess. But yeah, he didn't say if it was like a one-shot character recurring or anything, did he?
No, I just said who did he play in BTAS?
Mutale says that we missed a trivia super chat that he sent.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll look back just in case.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be some like stilted old man voice, I'm sure.
Thank you for catching that, Mutale. I do have it now.
Oh, and Daniver says he even played 2 different roles.
Oh, wow. Voice actors for animated shows are tough, though.
Yep.
But these guys are on it in the chat.
You are fired. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's not coming.
I love that they're not giving us the answer. They're just giving clues. They really want us to figure it out.
Thanks, guys.
But then the other one...
He says he's in Joker's favor with that. He's not Mayor Hill, is he? Maybe he is Mayor Hill.
Mayor Hill?
I bet that's who it is, which would make him recurring. That would mean that he's in several episodes. Mayor Hill is the person that Clock King is trying to get revenge on in his 2 episodes. Crazy. You know what? I think this was way at the beginning, DJ, and I actually remember seeing that super chat. We never answered it. Something about...
Okay, that makes sense, because I can't see it, yeah.
Something about fans of the channel. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to be able to actually find that. Mutali, would you just...
Yeah, just write it in. I'll just write it in the chat.
Just write it in the regular chat for us, because we don't have it now.
I hate the way the chat works.
My viewer activity tab doesn't work anymore. It used to give me all the super chats, and now it's really hit or miss. For this whole show, I have 1 right now.
Yeah, it's so annoying how it doesn't keep the whole chat. Work.
Yeah, it's obnoxious.
And even in the regular chat, I can't see everything. I have to scroll back. It's really...
Yeah, AMC, tell us who it is. Because I made my guess, and he did not say I'm right, so...
Oh, I got it. I found it. Mutale. If your fan base was a cult, like the Snyder fans are, make you happy or horrified?
I mean, no, that's horrifying, because then you would wonder if
Wait, before you answer, does this help?
yeah, no, I want to quit right now, actually. I think I'm just done at this point. Oh my god, no.
We support Captain Logan in all of his videos.
No, it would make me rethink everything. I'd be like, what have I wrought here? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of I would feel like I was having the same character arc actually that Batman has in that movie, right? It'd be like, what have I inspired? Like, people are not getting what I'm after. They're liking me for the wrong reasons. I'm
Restore Morphin Year.
Yeah, or, you know, if somehow my channel was popular enough that a cult built up around it, this is such a goofy question, that a cult grew up around it, it would be like, we want to, like, go up against, picket, throw rocks at anybody that makes a bad superhero movie, right? Or like anybody that makes things that Cap just doesn't like. That was actually one of the things that I was exploring before I had to abandon the project, unfortunately, with Batman Year. Was the idea of a version of me as the villain that like kind of misunderstands what I at least think I'm all about, and where it's not about trying to encourage people to think for themselves, but it's simply about trying to get everybody to think exactly the way you do. And like, that would be my worry with people that were like, if you accidentally had a group of people that were obsessed with you, to that point, is that it would be that, like, they let you do all the thinking for you. It's like the opposite of validation, right? It's like, we're not looking for him to say what we're thinking already. We think like he is, and everything that guy says, and this sounds very self-aggrandizing, and I don't mean it to, because I can't imagine this ever happening, but it would be like, this guy, we believe everything he says, and we've decided that that's what our opinions are too. And like, that would be freaky to me, and I would quit immediately if I saw any more than like 5 people doing that. I'd be out.
I don't mean to freak you out, but I think that absolutely has happened. I would say I was guilty of it for a while. I think a lot of us, when we were younger, and we were, at least when I was younger, and you knew your stuff, and you were analyzing these things before I didn't go to school for that. Hadn't even really thought of that stuff. I usually went to your opinion as a go-to. I think we all have that breaking point where we just strongly disagree with you with one film, and then we're like, okay, this guy doesn't know everything.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I definitely had that when I was younger. I mean, obviously, I'm a lot more grown up now, and but I mean, I wasn't like a cult. I wasn't following you like you knew everything. But I definitely took your opinions very very seriously about superhero stuff.
Well, you're right. I'm sure we're all guilty of that to some degree with anybody that we that we kind of look up to or look to for, advice of any kind. But yeah, I'm sure you grew up and now you have like a don't meet your heroes kind of thing.
No, it's been a great
I know
relationship.
I would.
Diego said the same thing. He was guilty of that as a kid, and Mutale said he does too. So yeah, I think a lot of younger viewers probably share that with me, because when I was going to college and just first learning how to analyze stuff, I looked at your videos a lot.
Well, the good news is, and I appreciate that, and yeah, that's weird in my brain, but the good news is that time has passed, because young people do not watch me anymore. But when I say young people, I mean teenagers. Like, we have no teenage demographic whatsoever anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy. Not as few as females as we have, though.
I don't know why Matthew Bass is talking about Robert Paulson.
His name was Robert Paulson.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, he said Cap is just the protagonist from Fight Club?
Oh, AMC, you're right. I was thinking of the wrong episode. Yeah, then I'm not sure who he voiced. Has that still never come up? Oh, he said he put it in the comments. I never saw it. Yeah,
I haven't seen it either.
Charlie Collins. Oh, okay. Yeah, that guy must be good at voice modulation because that doesn't sound anything like that actor to me. So that's cool.
Oh wow, that's a deep poll trivia question.
It
Great
really
job,
is.
MC.
No, good call. I'm glad to know that. But
There we
yeah,
go.
the
One
only
more
way I would know that is if I had found it somewhere. I wouldn't have got it listening to it, I don't think.
Yeah, yeah. Vitaly has one more super chat trivia question. Which superhero film director made their own original superhero film?
Would you say that one more time? I was reading some
Which
comments. I'm sorry. What kind of director?
which superhero film director
Yeah.
made their own superhero film, original superhero film?
I don't really understand the question. Like, do you mean a director of a mainstream superhero film that then made their own? Because, like, by definition, any director that makes their own, that makes an original superhero film is making an original superhero film.
Yeah, yeah. I think he means what you said, like a well-known superhero film.
Like a
They
DC
went off
Marvel
and
thing or something.
it could be James Gunn. He made Super,
Right.
if that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, that's the only thing that comes to my mind right away. But that's backwards. He made that first.
Yeah. I
So
don't
like,
know
does
if
he
he's-
mean somebody that did a mainstream one and then went off and made something original? I'm not sure. I don't think the guy who directed Hancock had made a superhero movie. And also, Raimi is probably what he's thinking of, but that's also backwards. He does an original film because I don't know if he means chronologically because he does Darkman before he does Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know if he necessarily means chronologically or just he's a superhero film director and he made his own superhero film.
Yeah.
But Raimi's another one, yeah. But that's not original. Darkman's based on something.
No,
right?
no, it is original. That's
it's totally original. Okay.
Yeah, that's Raimi's. Yep.
Okay. Well, there's two options.
Yeah, when he says his own, like he wrote and directed that. He created that character.
So very similar to James Gunn. That's the same exact.
Well, and actually, what's a little bit different about it is Super was always, as far as I understand it, meant to be an original superhero property. Raimi does Darkman because he can't get Batman.
Oh.
If I understand the history properly. Anyway, are we finished with questions?
That's it. That's the last super chat we have.
Okay, let me go ahead and make my announcement. So, here's the caveat with this. I am hoping, probably against hope, that this comes out late next year. I cannot promise that, but I'm not going to play the song right now. I'm not going to promise that. All I'm going to say is there is a project that I have started very early preliminary work on. That I don't have a script for, but I have story broken for, DJ. And this is, and this thing is going to be, I don't want to say the replacement for Batman Year, but part of the reason I want to make this is because I wasn't able to finish that project. It will be a different thing, but it will be story-wise in line with Spawn Year and kind of a follow-up to that, but it's not as direct of a sequel as Batman Year was going to be, and this will be a singular project that's not an ongoing series, and there may be a review component to it, but it's not primarily about that. It's not like, I'm not reviewing daily, I'm not reviewing weekly, I'm doing a movie, and it is, and like I said, I've got Storybook for it. Jason is co-writing it with me, and and Jason will be co-starring in it with me. And and the only thing I will give you is the title, and I don't want to say anything else about it yet. But it will be Superhero Rewind the movie.
Ah! Superhero Rewind the movie. You heard it here first, folks. And I did not announce it. It's straight from the source.
I don't know if I've
really
even told
happening.
you about this, DJ, but
I think you briefly mentioned that you were working on it. I didn't know it was happening next year. Good grief.
I want to at least shoot it by next year. It could take a couple of years. I'm not sure yet. I don't even know yet exactly what it's going to cost. I don't like I've got to get the script written. But like I said, we've got the bare bones of the story broke. I'm trying to decide just how minimalistic or how complex I want to make the thing. So like, this is just an announcement. This is a project I'm going to work on. And I am, with this one, because I mean, I've got 5 kids, I'm very busy, and I feel bad about projects that I've started and not been able to finish. This is a self-contained thing. It's one movie. If I can, get rolling on it, I will eventually get the thing finished. And I don't know, it's there's some work I know is going to be different from anything I've done with it before. I guess the other little tidbit I'll give you, the other little fun detail, is that if I make it the way I'm thinking about it right now, like what my current plan is, there's going to be some crazy logistics, because some of it will, I hope I'm not giving too much away when I say this, some of it will require me to be in about the physical shape I'm in now, and some of it will require me to work out a lot.
Sweet.
And I'm going to have to bulk up a little bit for it if I do it the way I want to do it. And I've never done that, so I don't even know if my body type, I'm capable of doing what I want to with it. But I need to at least, I probably won't do a shirtless scene, but I need to at least get a little bit more bulked up than I am now to get away with some of what I want to do in that movie.
You heard it here first, folks. Shirtless scene. Cap's first shirtless scene. He's going to have 6-pack abs. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Discussing topic says, don't take too long, Cap. Jason will grow. Absolutely. Well, what we'll do is, when we... I want to shoot this like a real movie to some degree, so once we start principal photography, I want a plan for what the days are and how long it's going to take to do that. I don't want to shoot this over a year, I want to shoot it over 6 months tops, hopefully less, hopefully more like 2 or 3 months.
That's right, Day Ghost. We're finally going to get the swimming on camera scene, because he's going to be ripped.
I'm hoping to write in cameos for at least DJ and Austin, if they're ready and willing to do it. I don't know if I don't know what parts they'll play yet, and if they'll just be on camera or if I'll have to go to them to do it. But but I do want to get some cameos from some of the major co-hosts that are still with us. At least you guys, possibly Dan, possibly Brandon. Because Brandon was all over Spawn Year, it actually would be kind of weird if I didn't write him into this, so that will probably happen.
Yeah, just not Connor, because I don't like that Connor guy.
Oh no, I love to have Connor in it.
Whatever the quote is.
Usually I don't like Connor, but I'd love to see him in the Superhero Rewind.
Yeah, usually I don't like Connor, but I like him in cameos. That's fine.
Want him in. Robert Wild wants to know if it'll be 4 hours long. No, I'm hoping for this to be digestible. With the story that we've come up with, and again, I don't tend to outline, but we've done kind of a writer's room breaking meeting that I've got. I've got a page of notes of where, at least right now, I think it'll go. Obviously, whenever I start writing a thing, it takes on a life of its own and goes different places. So the ending might not even be the one that we've come up with so far. I will say the most interesting plot points in it, if they go the way we've written them so far, are Jason's ideas. Which is why he's getting co-story credit, and I might even have him writing directly in the thing. This will be as much his project as it is mine. Like, we are doing this as a father-son thing, and the main cast will be me and Jason and nobody else. There will be other characters in it. It is primarily me and Jason.
Wow. You need to call it Superhero Rewind the movie, a father and son production.
Yeah. And you'll see how much better of an actor Jason is than I am also when we do it. One of the reasons that I've put off doing anything like this for so long is because I don't think I'm a very good actor, and I don't mind listening to myself now and watching myself do this. I cringe to watch myself act. I cannot deal with it. I'm a terrible actor. But I can't make a Superhero Rewind movie about Captain Logan and not be in it. So
just cast somebody else.
So I'm stuck. Yeah, so I'm stuck acting, and I don't love that. But
well, we've already seen how much of a better dancer he is than you on camera. So now we'll keep going with that.
Yeah, we'll just say he's better than me at everything. I think he might ultimately be a better singer than me. Jason is a better performer than I am in general, and he comes by it honestly. He's always had a natural talent for just performing.
Yeah, and I bet a lot of that is just you letting him pursue that more so than maybe your parents did. And I'm definitely going to do that with my son, because he's definitely much more outgoing, and I never got any exposure to drama or plays or anything in my life, and I definitely want him to have that possibility.
Yeah, that's great. No, with Jason, a lot of it is just, I mean, you want to just encourage your kids to do whatever they have a passion for and whatever they have an aptitude for if they seem to enjoy that thing. We had Jason in modeling when he was like 4 and 5. He did like runway walks and stuff, and he loved it. And the only reason we didn't continue to have him pursue that, let him pursue that, is because he got into dance and there wasn't time to do both. And I'm glad that that happened because one of the problems, and pardon me for going off on a tangent, one of the problems with modeling is that your kid will get a call for an audition an hour before he has to be there, in the middle of the day.
Jeez.
And it became impossible to always stay. Like, he would miss opportunities because of that. Like, they'll give you no notice. You can't bring other children with you, at least with everything we saw, all these auditions. So, like, Freddie was born already. It'd be like, my wife's at work, and I don't know how people with dual incomes manage it, or more dual incomes than we have. I work from home. So, if we only had the one kid, it'd be fine. I could just take him wherever he needed to go. But it would be like, you have to go there, you have to stay with them, you can't bring another kid with you. What the heck am I supposed to do?
You can't bring 4 kids with you.
Yeah. So, like, we wouldn't put a kid in modeling now. It's impractical.
That's crazy.
You know, never mind how expensive it is and how little work he was able to get, ultimately. But, you know, we tried it for a while, and he loved what he got to do. He, like, the runway stuff and all that was fun for him, and he did a print ad, and that was cool. But that's about the only job he ever got. He did audition. I don't know if I've ever told anybody about this. He did audition for Fuller House.
Oh, wow.
That was a video audition. That was fun. Even back then, he was so good at memorizing dialogue, and he was like 5 years old.
Yeah, dude. Kids' memories is insane. Like, we're just to that age where we're starting to get our son to memorize our address and our phone numbers and stuff, because that's really important for a little 4-year-old to know. And we were expecting it to take a while, and he just learned it in like a couple days.
AMC Comics, why in the world would I want this to be like Turbo, a Power Rangers movie? I'm going to do everything I can to make this a movie and Power Rangers. I mean, and superhero anyway.
Maybe that's a spoiler.
I'm just kidding. It just, the title has to fit the material.
Well, hey, yeah, let's not overshadow the announcement, guys. This is crazy. This is big news.
Yeah, and I apologize in advance if it gets canceled, but I have every intention of making this thing.
No.
I just can't promise when it will come out. I'm aiming for at least the end of next year, because I would love for it to coincide with the anniversary of Spawn Year. And I've alluded to this a couple times before, where like I've got something in the works. It's you know, related to Spawn Year. It's for the anniversary. If it comes out a year after that, then it'll be for the anniversary of the end of Spawn Year, I guess. And I may try to do a couple of other fun, you know, things related to Spawn Year or to that kind of thing next year. I'm kicking around, DJ, maybe going back to where I left off with the comics with Spawn Year and actually reviewing some of it in batches. But I don't want to. You know, like, it might be fun for some folks. I don't really want to read that material. Or I might just check in with some of the like offshoot monthly books that have come out, because I've gotten some questions about that, if I've read any of that and if I care about any of it. So I don't know. I could do maybe a quick series of like number ones and just check in with all of those and something like that. But I may try to do some Spawn material next year. I'm not promising that. This movie, I am saying I'm gonna do my level best to get it out by the end of next year. I cannot promise that.
Well, I'm excited. And not just because I might have a cameo. I'm excited to watch it.
Well, thanks, DJ. I appreciate it, man.
We did get a real quick super chat that popped up while we were rambling.
We were.
It's from High Ice 007.
That's not a name I recognize either. How's it going?
Nor do I. He wants to know, any chance you will review a great Canadian film like Turbo Kid?
I'm not against Canada. That's not true. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What am I talking about?
political.
Yeah,
Don't be
no,
so politically correct.
I
We
mean,
all
the,
hate Canada.
the only reason that that I've kept Austin around for so long is because I'm desperate. So, I wouldn't usually go for a Canadian, but no, I've never heard of Turbo Kid. I don't know what that is. If it's a superhero movie, I'll have to review it because the rule for Superhero Rewind is American and English language films. So if there's a superhero movie made in Canada that I don't know about and was shot in English and not French, I don't know if there's any Canadian movies shot in French, then I would have to do it.
Well, if it's in the Jingle All the Way universe, then I also have to see it.
I don't know why I didn't think of that.
It's Turbo Kid.
They made a like full-size, almost perfect replica of that for Walmart last year. I don't know if you saw that, but there were scale Turbomans that you could buy that's in the exact same kind of box. Like they did the Buzz Lightyear thing with it.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. No, I haven't been to Walmart in forever, but that's pretty cool. Did it say all the same 5 different phrases, including "It's Turbo Time"? Did it say all those?
Yep. That's all in there. Isn't that crazy? Nicholas Monte says it was reviewed on Red Letter Media, and it's not really a superhero movie. Okay, so no plans for that because I've never heard of that.
Sounds like a superhero movie.
But if someone wants to request it, I will watch it.
Matthew Bay says, blame Canada.
Even Austin blames Canada. Oh, thanks for another super chat. You didn't have to do that, man. I appreciate it. He says, it's a superhero / apocalyptic movie shot in English. Well, if it counts as superhero, I'll have to do it eventually, but
I'll look into it.
We're going to make a whole sequel based on that one line. He just turned the playing card over. Did you see that? I'll look into it. God, I really want to watch that right now. I probably still watch. I don't rewatch a lot of movies. I probably still see Begins 3 or 4 times a year.
Wow. Yeah, I don't rewatch movies anymore. It's a bummer. I wish I did. There's just too much to watch. So little time. Sometimes
occasions will come up where it's just a thing that's available and it trumps everything else. So, like, the last time I was on an airplane, like, there's all these other selections. Begins is there, so I'm watching that. Like, so I watched it on an airplane.
Maybe you'll watch that on the airplane in a couple weeks.
Okay, but that's going to be like an hour and a half long flight, so I'll see part of it.
That's crazy that you're so close by airplane, but so far by car.
Yeah, that's true. That's how it works. But no, we haven't mentioned this. I'm going to DJ's like the 3rd weekend of next month, and we'll do some live shows while I'm there, I am sure.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be hype.
I'm excited about it. Maybe less now that I know that you say things like that.
We're also going to get a passport for Austin. He's going to come down.
Oh, I wish. That would be great. We'll kidnap him and keep him here so he doesn't have to live in Canada anymore.
Yeah. He's going to just stay in my extra bedroom.
This will be the first time, and only the second time I've seen DJ in almost 3 years in person.
Crazy that it's been that long.
Thanks for letting me come see you, dude.
Of course, man. Anytime. Glad we were able to make it work. It's been a crazy couple of years for both of us, but
yeah, because we've been trying to make this a yearly tradition, and it has not worked out since that one, which is weird. Because don't you remember, for various reasons, that almost didn't happen too. Like that trip very nearly got canceled like 3 different times.
Mm-hmm. Well, fingers crossed for this one. You've already bought the ticket.
I've already bought the plane ticket, so hopefully I can make it, because otherwise I'm out that money. But no, I decided to fly this time because it's actually comparable to driving it as far as gas money goes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's going to be great. I can't wait. A few weeks.
Anyway, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this Halloween special for the Captain Logan Show. If you missed the announcement, I'm making Superhero Rewind the movie, and that's mostly all I'm saying about it, and it will come out sometime. Hopefully next year, but I'm not promising that. Mutale, real quick, super chat. Thanks, buddy. On a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome do you think you are?
Yeah, let's hear this.
I'm not conceited enough to answer that. The only thing you can do to not look like an arrogant prick is to aim somewhere in the middle or be self-deprecating, and then that's like protesting too much, right? If you say a 4, everybody will go, he meant an 8, right? But you could say, but if you say somewhere around like a 6 or a 7, you're lowballing it, but you're still saying like, I like myself, I think that I have some credibility, I'm good at something, you know what I mean? So gun to my head, 7, 6. I don't even feel right about saying 7. So don't put a gun to my head. I'm not answering this question.
Well, we'll turn it over to you guys in the chat. You put in the closing chat as we end this show, how awesome is Cap on a scale?
Oh, please don't do that.
Everybody
this
do
whole
it.
thing is so
Make him
self-indulgent in the first. And now we do it twice a week. You know,
he's embarrassed. You make him embarrassed, guys. Give him nothing but 10s across the board. He's awesome.
I really, and the blushing will show up more because of the contrast with the green. Anyway, you guys are wonderful. Really appreciate all the super chats and support tonight, and just being here and hanging out with us. I hope you had fun. And I will be back tomorrow night with Austin for a commentary on Candyman with Tony Todd, one of my favorite actors of all time. And I finally
Tony
have seen Tony, and I finally have seen. I wonder if Tony Todd does any stage work, because I would love Tony Todd to win a Tony. I've never had that thought before. But anyway, I think he does. I'm not sure. But anyway, I finally have seen the big thing that Tony Todd is most known for. And it occurred to me today that the Star Trek work that he did, that I partly know him so well for and like him so well for. Some of it he did actually, I think, even before they made that movie, which is interesting. But it was... I had a better time with it than I thought I would by quite a bit, and I'm excited to talk about it with Austin tomorrow. That will be a really interesting movie to talk about.
Sweet.
It's both entertaining and really bothered me, and I think people will probably laugh at me and give me crap for that, but like, it hurt my feelings in some places. So it's going to be a really interesting movie to talk. I have very rarely found myself sympathizing with a protagonist in a horror film or a slasher film as much as I did in that movie. And the setup of it is really atypical for a slasher movie. So like, it kind of turns into or degenerates into a slasher depending on whether you like that genre and how you feel about the whole thing. But the setup is much more kind of procedural, supernatural detective thriller, which I wasn't expecting at all. But I liked that main character a lot, and it just hurt my feelings every way from Sunday what happens to her, and like, I don't like it. Like, I'm not supposed to, you know what I mean? Like, I like it, but I don't like it. Like, yeah. Anyway, it's good.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, we have to stop saying the name, or he's gonna show up and get us with his hook for a hand.
Who shall not be named.
Yeah, Candyman has kind of that, I've
Voldemort
probably said it 5 times, damn. No, Candyman has that, Bloody Mary thing.
Yeah.
Like, you say it so many times while you're looking at
That's the only thing I know about Candyman, is from when I was a kid and people would say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, we're going to get going now. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. We'll see you again real soon. I was Captain Logan, and also the Riddler, and this was DJ Martinez, and also a scarier version of the Riddler.